but all good, all good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Are we live? Hey, we are live. Let's go, people. How's everybody doing today? It's a late night stream for me today. It's like almost 1 a.m. Who we got in here? Buongiorno. What's good, buongiorno? All right, let's see the chat. Who's the first ones in here? Yo, Marty, you're here every time. Love to see you today. Who else we got up in here? Let's go, Eric. What's good, Johnny? What's good, Bonjour? Or Santa, $8 readings. Yeah, sure, I do the readings. But today is not gonna be a readings. Today is not gonna be about me. Today is gonna be all about the Q app, right? This is a Q stream. We're gonna be talking about the Q app, what it is, what we bring to the table, and how can we make a difference in this world to make it a better place through knowledge. We have built the application that actually enlightens people, that actually gives people value and taps them into their own frequency and helps them read the world through a completely new eyes, right? That's the Q app. My brother, what's good, Muzzy? What's good, Sylvia? Greetings from Georgia, the Goat State. Hey, we got someone from Georgia, Goat State. I hope you're born in you're the goat, you're the pig, you're the cat, to take advantage of your friendly energy. See, that's what the Q app is all about. It's about aligning yourself with the frequencies. And we got no one better to explain this for us than the Q mastermind, the CEO, the founder itself, Nick. How you doing today, Nick?
Hey, how you doing? Yeah, you can call me Nick or at LifePathFacts. Some of you may be familiar with my Twitter page. I post some numerology facts there all the time. But yeah, I'm doing well. I appreciate the kind words. But yeah, Q is a product of not just one mind, but a mastermind, right? There's several founders to Q. You know, homage and shout out to Gary Greenberg and Roger as well. He's online as well. You can find him at Insights33. But yeah, no, we keep working every day and we're building something special. Like Tavid said, I think you describe it really well. It's knowledge and it's a strong community of people who know how powerful this knowledge really is and how much energy you save when you see the world through this lens. It's truly an extra, way to have awareness and kind of be able to understand the cause and effect of life and just kind of operate better. So yeah, it's an amazing time to be alive. I mean, I wish Q existed when I was first getting into numerology. That's for sure.
All right, Nick.
I
So
didn't see
you're
you
the
around.
huh?
Tabit, you weren't making much videos back 5 years ago, were you?
No, I started 2024.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
In
Yeah.
my 8th year, I as soon as I went to Nature Cycle, I made my own channels. That's what led us here. But anyways, you
And
are the founder of QQ. What's your birthday, sir?
my birthday is 007 1999. So yeah, I'm not a spy, but definitely can appreciate privacy. So I'm a sixth life path born on the seventh, so I got a little bit of family instinct in me, but also could really tone it down being born on the seventh. So speaking's not my natural abilities, I'd say, but the key and the gift of being born on the seventh or any other seven energy, you can learn anything, right? Just like anyone else, but it's a little bit easier to learn things. You just kind of remember things, and I was able to practice my communication skills through kind of like the sales world, you could say. When I graduated college, I went to a recruiting job where I basically spent the next 2.5 years in the tech field, kind of data engineers, data scientists, these type of really technical jobs, helping them get their new job, right? I helped like over 40 people find that next career opportunity, and that was a pleasure. It took a lot of communicating and learning, and yeah, my birthday plays into that in a big way.
Brilliant. So just to be clear, your birthday is 7/7/1999. So guys, don't you think it's funny? The founder of QApp is born on the 7th, just like Gary, the mastermind behind all of this numerology, is born on the 7th as well. It's almost like people born on the 7th are tapped into a much deeper frequency. It's almost like people born on the 7th can really figure out and use numerology and, decode the matrix in a whole completely different way than almost anybody else. And it makes sense, building the app, pushing the Q app, pushing numerology into the mainstream to hundreds of thousands of people is done by a 7. Makes sense, doesn't it?
The seven, I mean, it's really like a bridge, you could say. It's kind of connecting dots. It's all about making those connections that weren't there before, right? So absolutely.
Alright, anybody born on the 7th, 16th, 25th, or 7th life path, knowledge is key. The more you learn numerology and astrology and advanced esoteric subjects, the better it is. And there's not a better way to do it than the Q app. Q app is here to give you guys access to the most advanced information out there in the public. This kind of knowledge, numerology and astrology, it was never meant for the public. It was never meant for normal people like me and you, right? The knowledge, this type of stuff, is always been kept for the elite. But now it's 2026, it's the age of Aquarius, things are looking a bit different. Now we can actually take this knowledge, take this insight, and spread it out into the people. Everybody can benefit who is ready for this type of step forward, to learn about energy, to learn about the cycles, to learn about numerology and astrology, how it affects them, and how you can use this knowledge as a cheat code to your life. That's what the Q app is all about. It's about giving you those cheat codes in a well-mannered, in an easy way to digest, in an easy way to process this information and find ways to apply it to your life. So what I want to do today is essentially go through the apps, go through the tool, go through the tools, go through the app, and show you guys what you can do with it. So the moment you stop into the Q app, the first thing you're gonna see is the life path calculator. The energy calculator is the key part and a backbone of numerology and astrology. You put in your birthday, you get instant insight of who you are, what you meant to do, and what you meant to be going through, right? Because numerology and astrology, your birthday is like your code in this matrix. This shows the challenges, your strengths, your weaknesses, how you perform in relationships, how you perform in a career, what jobs are good for you, what people are good for you, what you should be doing in life is all hidden within your birthdays. Some people are really good for you, some people not. Some days are really beneficial, some days not so much. So you put your birthday into the Q calculator, it's gonna tell you exactly the advanced insight and unlock your destiny. But see, it's not just confined about you. You can put any birthday into the Q app. You can put your family, your brother, your relationships, any person you meet, you can put in the birthday and instantly learn who you're dealing with. What's that person's like? How does that person deal under stress? You can read into anybody like a book, right? And we put a lot of effort, a lot of work into the new calculator, especially the one coming out right now. Nick, what can people expect in the next update?
Well, you can just expect an overall better flow to the app, right? Right now, we started with the focus being just that explore, that founding dates database, which was kind of our unique or novelty, you could say, that really got us on the App Store to begin with. And we've just been expanding from there, right? We went into the calculator, into the calendar, and we've introduced features like family tree, where you can visualize all your connections in your circle. We've brought in features like the check compatibility. So we've built out like a continued suite of tools on top of the core features, which were the calculator, the calendar, and then of course that database, that search. And the plan is to basically bring it all together. So you're just going to see a better way to navigate the app and know what tools you can use, how you can use them, and then particular to the calculator itself. We really revamped the whole look and feel of it and what you're getting out of it, with the focus of numerology kind of focusing on some timing, right? Some cycles, some personal cycles, but also mainly like your personality. We say that's the more accurate piece of it. And then going into Chinese astrology, giving that user, like a first time user, that understanding that, okay, there's friendly years, there's enemy years, and how to use that timing. So in a nutshell, we're making it much more user friendly. You can show it to your mom, your dad. They won't think this is some, kind of out there app. It will actually kind of flow and make a little more sense. And, I'll say it lightly. We're kind of trying to hold hands for the user, kind of give them that handheld experience versus, those who make the investment in Q right now. It's kind of, if you know, it's like, oh yeah, this tool's obviously, I can use this letterology tool for this, or I can do, I know the years for this. Like it's a lot. Sometimes when we create a product that's for a niche consumer, the niche consumer already knows how to use it. But as we grow as a company, we really need to work on our consumer education. How do I use Q? How do I make the most out of it? And what we'll recommend for everyone is to really re-download it once this experience is out, because it'll be a whole new experience, from the start of onboarding to the, aha moment of like, wow, this makes sense and I know how to get the value out of it. So there's a journey ahead. Don't expect everything right away, but you can expect that new calculator to come out over the next 10 days, I want to say. Probably by the middle of February, we'll have that new calculator out, which will be a 10x, right? Truly, like if you hold on to the app for the next 2 weeks and you see the difference, you're gonna be like, this was this. Like it's a pretty big jump. We haven't upgraded the calculator since we launched on, I want to say May 28th. Like hardly. We've updated the text. Shout out and credit to Tabit, who has really revamped the knowledge inside. So the technology is one piece that like houses all this knowledge, but we have a human expert now kind of going in and making accuracy audits and checking, various things of the app, particularly the knowledge, right? So the writing that you see in there is handwritten. It's by Tabit. I mean, the man's put tens of thousands of words into Q already, just in the short time that he's been with the company. So it's amazing, the upgrades that you're going to start to see and already have seen, I'm sure. But yeah, thank you, Tabit, again for all those great upgrades. This is I know that's just the beginning of kind of seeing accuracy go to a higher level for Q. Kind of giving it that human touch,
Of course. So essentially, you put in your birthday, you're gonna instantly learn about the person. There are 3 life paths. They're gonna be childish. They wanna talk a lot. If there are 5 life paths, they're gonna be really flirty. Right? You put in a birthday, see there are 5 life paths, you think they're hitting on you. At the end of the day, there's just a 5. They're flirting, they're doing their thing. If someone's a 7 life path, they're gonna be closed off. They're gonna be a loner. They're gonna be keeping secrecy. You're not really gonna figure them out no matter how you try. If someone's a 1 life path, these people are gonna push in your face, do what they want, don't give a shit what you're gonna tell them. Right? So this gives you insight to every person you're dealing with, any person you meet. You put in their birthday into the Q app, that's gonna tell you what's the person like, right? Well, should you hire this person? Should you work with them? Should you have them around you? Are they gonna benefit you by their energy? That's the power of the Q app, giving you insight on literally any birthday you deal with, right? There's, they say there's 8 billion people in the world. I feel like it's a lot less. I think that's a psyop. But at the end of the day, everybody has a birthday. That's one thing that unites literally everybody. We all have a birthday. We have an imprinted energy. You put that birthday in the Q app, you're gonna know what the person is, who you're gonna be dealing with. Right? So that's the cheat code. That's where you need the Q app. Put your birthday in and see what it tells you. So that's the life path calculator, right? But that's just one part of the Q app. The next most important aspect is the calendar. The Q calendar gives you daily insight on what the energy brings. Today's a 1 life path day. You should go hard, take action. That's a great day for new beginnings. You see, it's an 11 life path day. People are gonna be emotional. People always get riled up and emotional and aggressive and tilted, always under 11 energy. This is how you can align yourself with essentially the cosmic frequencies, right? You put in there, you check the Q calendar, you're gonna instantly have an edge over everybody else, because you know what the energy brings and you can align yourself accordingly. Let's say you're planning for a big event, do it on a 3-day. 3 is a very social energy, so planning a party on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, 30th gonna bring you great results, right? Because that's 3 energy, that's how you align yourself, that's how you use the Q app. Let's say it's a 7 life path day. 7 is a great day to learn. 7 is a great day for knowledge, great day to study. That's not a great day to deal with business. That comes the day after when it's an 8 life path day. 8 is the number of money. So you want to boost up your finance, do your business stuff on the 8, 17, 26th of the month. That's why you need the Q app. It's gonna tell you what the energy brings and how you can move accordingly. Now the Q calendar has a tool within it, which is the 5-day compatibility. So you see, you put in your birthday and it's gonna tell you for the next 5 days how compatible you are. Today you have a 30%. You should lay low, take it easy. Tomorrow you have an 80%. That's your time to shine. That's your time to go hard, right? So numerology astrology compatibility on a day-by-day basis is the most important aspect of this knowledge. Some days are really good for you. Some days are not. Some days are really beneficial. Other days you should lay low. There's 365 days a year. Each one has its own energy, right? So you align yourself with the current frequency, and that's what's gonna make the difference. So you get the Q app, put in your birthday, it's gonna give you daily guidance, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't, and how you can align yourself with energy. See, being aligned with the numerology astrology, it really feels like going with the current instead of going against it. Swimming with the flow that is gonna boost you up instead of swimming against it. Right? So many people struggle in life. So many people have problems upon problems. Not us, because we know how to align ourselves with the current energy and go with the flow. That's the power of the Q app. That tool is accessible to any one of you guys as well. Go to the Q app, check the calendar, and base your life accordingly. Does that make sense, Nick?
It makes sense, but David, a lot of people would tell you like, the day I ask my boss to get a raise is not going to make a difference, right? They wouldn't believe you, right? If you told them, hey, maybe you're going to speak a little bit better on that 3 day, maybe you have a little bit more luck on that 3 day, or hey, maybe that 8 day, it's all about money. You should be telling them why you're worth your value, and to speak up for yourself, because you don't get if you don't ask, right? That's something that always stuck with me through my time working with people. So you always got to ask, and knowing when to ask could be the kind of edge that you have over everyone else, right? The timing. Everyone always says timing's everything, right? And it truly is. Now, what I will say, Tyler, there are some nuances, right? Because you still should, not rely on the technology 100%. You should look at Q as a guide. It's a textbook. It's not the final say all, right? Because if you look at the 5 day compatibility, that forecast, for example, and you see, okay, January 28th is a 80% for me, right? This would be a great day for me to get married. Or sorry, the 27th, it's a high percentage for me on this 27th. However, if you understood the knowledge or some more of the nuances behind it, you would know not to get married on a 9 day because it's the number of completion, right? Or to avoid 7 days because it's not great for relationships. It's a loner energy. And that's a key thing to understand. So you can't fully rely on, hey, okay, just because there's a great percentage, it's going to be great for everything I do. No, it's a very personal calculation. So that percentage is based on our own algorithm that is the same kind of algorithm we're using for the check compatibility, which you can go beyond the 5 days. You can go to the check compatibility feature and say, hey, is March 28th, what is the percentage for March 28th? There's a date picker. So it's not limited to those 5 days. I just wanted to add those nuances. But yes, that makes a lot of sense, Tavid. I hope that made sense as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. But see, the Q app, to count to help you with your point, the Q app is gonna tell you if it's a 9th, 18th, 27th, that's the day of completion. You should never start new things on a 9 day. That's what the Q app is for. You ever start a new job, you get married, you start a new business on a 9 day, that's the number of completion. It's not going to benefit you. There's a reason all of the big companies avoid the number 9. iPhone 9 was never a thing. Windows 9 was never a thing because that's the number of completion. So you can use the Q app to get that insight to know it's a 9 day. You shouldn't really start new things. You shouldn't take any big risk. 9 is the number of completion. That's when you finish things. That's when you wrap them up. And that's what the Q calendar tells you every single day, what energy brings, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. So now let's go to the next most important tool. Yeah, go ahead.
And also, I just wanted to mention, I brought that up because, right now, my brother, who's not as into numerology, of course, as I am, but he was he was trying to use the app to figure out a good day to propose to his fiance. Or not his fiance, but his soon-to-be fiance. He's looking to engage. And he saw a date that was like high percentage. I think it was like this 27th, tomorrow. And I'm like, the 9 energy, So, for a beginner, it's almost like we have to put in some of that context that's not directly, they wouldn't think to go, let me go check, it's a 9 day, So just a nuance for the viewers listening, just to really go deep into the knowledge before you start to make the decisions, so you have a solid kind of framework or foundation to be really logically based those decisions, because that's what it is at the end of the day, right, Tavid? I mean, this is logic. This is based on probabilities. We've run, statistics, and we've run the numbers. The data, doesn't lie. This is kind of where all this comes from. It's really scientific in a way, at least in the way I see it. It's observation, right? We test things. We could see things. Random statistic. Grab 100 of the top comedians in the world. Tell me what number energy comes up most. I mean, without running the study, I would guess it's the number three. It's the number of the comedian, right? But go ahead, take the top 100 comedians of all time, and you'll see, without a doubt, the highest frequency is going to be people either born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th, or three life paths. So
See,
these
before
things
before
it's all
QApp was a, before we had the luxury of having the QApp, I actually went through the process. I looked at the top 100 Comedy Central
Yep.
comedians, and if you look at the words Comedy Central comedian, they all start
There
with
you go.
C, the third letter. I saw the top 100 comedians of all time. 33% of them were threes. Either three life paths born the 3rd, 12th, 21st, and 30th. That's a 33 out of 100%, right? Think about it. It's a 1 out of 3 chance if you are a top 100 comedian of all time that you're a 3. That proves numerology because the mathematical average is like 8.32%. Or 16% if you count the days and the life path together, right? So that's almost double the normal average. That shows that's the most dominant energy. Numerology, astrology, it's real, it works. And you made a great point. Nothing we say in the QApp is based off opinions. Nothing we say in the QApp is based off, what someone thinks. We base everything off science. That's the power of the QApp. Nothing you see in there is based off nothing else but science and data. We and GG33, we in the QApp have looked at hundreds of thousands, if not millions of examples and compared those different birthdays for decades, right? For decades by a team of thousands of people. What works, what doesn't, what's real, what's not, that's what sets the QApp apart. We look at it
And
as a science.
that's what sets up GG33 as a part, right? And really makes the difference. It's like the people from the outside who want to say, yeah, it's not real, it's a scam. Like these are the people who are not even, putting in any type of work to do some research or get in the lab and run some statistics. It's truly like an IQ test, right? If you just understand probabilities, you're already ahead of the most people in this world. Because if you can't simply look at something and acknowledge there's a pattern or some type of rare anomaly here happening, then you're missing out, right? It's those who see it and want to find it and look for it and verify it with others that can really put this to work in their life. It's like it's not this magic hocus pocus thing. It's a tool, and people can use it for good, for bad, whatever they you have to really put the work in to understand what Q is, what numerology is, and see it a little bit bigger picture, right? That's how I always kind of viewed it, at least.
Makes sense. Hey, I gotta do some work. In the meanwhile, we got a reading. We got $10 from user X3MYY 111979. 11 is a very interesting birthday. That's one of the rarest birthdays of the year. People are born on the 1st of January, right? So you are a 1 life path born on the 1st. You're born 1/1/1979 on 1 life path. You got a lot of 1 energy in your chart. You are here to be a leader. You are here to be a way shower. You are born literally the first day of the year. So you gotta be a lead as an example. Lead through example. Be the best version of yourself. So be the person other people want to follow. That's how you can be the best version of yourself. As a 1 life path, you cannot be a follower. You cannot be passive. You cannot always be in a position of taking orders. You gotta position yourself in a way that you can be the one giving orders. Taking action, getting stuff done. Constant action is your key to success. You're also born near the horse. Because think about it, you're born 1979, which is normally a goat year, but 1st of January, that's still a goat, that's still a goat year, that's still a horse year. So horses have to work hard in life. Horses need to take constant action. You match your numerology with your astrology, you're 1 life path born on the 1st, in the year a horse, you are very, very stubborn. You, sir, are a person who learns things the hard way. Anything, any lesson in life, you gotta go it through self to really get the message, right? Think about it. If I tell you the stove is hot, don't touch it, you're the type you gotta touch it yourself to make sure it's hot. Know it throughout your whole life, right? It's not good enough for me to tell you it. You gotta go through it yourself to really get the message. So my advice to you, sir, is go hard by learning history, studying people around you. You ain't gotta go through everything yourself. You can actually learn from the people around you to become better yourself, to escape the trial and error, escape the cycle of struggling as a 1 life path. Learn from the people around you and learn from your own mistakes. Don't be too stubborn to keep repeating mistakes. Looking at your birthday, I feel like one of the biggest issues you might come across is when you feel like everybody else is wrong and you're the one always right, you know, because when you have that sort of mindset, that's gonna stop you from evolving, that's gonna stop you from adapting and actually improving. You as a person gotta take responsibility, be the best version of yourself, and always, you know, take accountability, who you are, what is the position you're in, and go hard doing it. Now, this year is your time to go come up. February 17th, the horse year gonna begin, and you as a horse, your time is to shine. Go hard, take action, make things happen. You're in an 11 personal year. This is your time to become more spiritual. This is your time. No, you're in a 3 personal year. My mistake. You're in a 3 personal year. In a horse year, this is your time to meet new people, interact, communicate. 2026 is gonna be very valuable for making connections, making new networking, making new connections, meeting new people. Be open to them. Don't be shy in 2026. If you're shy, if you're alone in 2026, you're gonna miss out on this beneficial year, and it's not gonna benefit you. Go out there, meet new people, put yourself in situations to get lucky. See, that's the power of numerology and astrology. You get to know what your good times are. Life is all about timing. Life is all about imprinted energy. Whenever you do something for the first time, think about it. You imprint that action with the date. You get born, you get imprinted with the energy of the day. You start a business, right? When you start a business, it's gonna imprint that energy. That's why they started Vanguard 5/1/1975, a 20 light per company, to imprint that 20th energy. That's why they started Apple 4/1/1976 on a 28 light per day, to get that 20th energy, the number of wealth, right? That's why they started New York. That's why they started Nasdaq 2/8/1971, 28 light per day, to tap into a 20th energy with Nasdaq. See, when you start something, you imprint that energy. That's why you need the Q app to figure out what's your friendly energies, what is the best energy for you in your business, and how you can move accordingly. That's the power of real numerology astrology, is taking action based off it, and Q app makes it way too easy. Tap in, get the Q app, and align yourself with your energies. Make sense, Nick?
And that's why we founded the company July 28th, 2023, right? We wanted to tap into a little bit of that 28 energy. It's also a 6 life path company. I'm a 6 life path. So, we do things and we time it, and we see the results, as have all these other, massive organizations, companies, people have benefited from going with the flow. And it's like that little reading that Tavit just gave that individual, was it 1/1/1997, you said?
Yes, sir.
Like, just knowing that, like, that's a huge advantage. Just hearing those things and knowing where to push, where to not push, that's very on point about the 1. My brother's a 1, and he could be very stubborn, being an ox as well. And like, it's about looking at the combination. That's a good thing to mention. It's like there's very different types of 1 life paths out there, because you have the Chinese astrology system, which pairs with that. And then you have the Western zodiac system as well. So everyone's birthday, it's almost like a unique key or code that, like, you're almost unlocking this combination of the 3 systems, right? And it's up to you to really tap into those energies. And it's not to say that you absolutely need this knowledge to do that, but it gives you that awareness of it that you didn't have before, right? You can naturally find yourself tapping into your highest self and be a good communicator without knowing, hey, I'm a 3 life path, or I'm born of the 3rd, I should communicate. So it's just you, when you change your lens around it, that it's like you're increasing your awareness so that you could tap into those strengths. That is when you really start to just kind of tap in, as Tavit says. I mean, that's a great way to say it. You're really signing up, right? You're signing up for that energy that you logged in with into this world, and it's your gifts, it's your abilities, and they're unique, and the way you use them are going to be very unique to you, and how you bring value to the people around you. So it's, to me, the greatest gift that modern humanity can be aware of, right? And I look forward to seeing it really flourish. And it's great that we have such a strong community who already knows and understands it. But it's like, it's almost on our shoulder, like the GG33 community, to keep getting this message out there and help people tap in. And Q is just kind of a big step forward, right? It's like the land moon, the moon landing, if it was real, one great step for mankind, you could say.
Yes, sir. And it makes sense that person who got a reading is actually a 20 light path as well, right? We start talking about the 28. That's a 28 life path right there. So people with 28 energy, money is always gonna come naturally for you. You know, money should never be an issue for a 28 unless they're being a follower. You know how 28s fail in this life? By being a beta little bitch. No 28 who's being a follower, working for only other people, is gonna really make it to the top. 28s get to the top by doing their own thing and being a leader in the industry. So it makes nothing but sense for the Q app to be founded on a 28. Everybody using it is gonna get the benefit of 28 energy as well, and Q app is definitely a leader in the industry of using numerology, astrology, and metaphysical science applied to the people's daily life. So that's a brilliant birthday to start it on. I highly commend it.
It will be a leader, but you know why? Because we are the thought leaders of it, right? You know, there's no one else who can really push this field forward because they don't have the by far the greatest minds of numerology and astrology. All right, at least the numerology. We won't take credit for all of astrology, but at least numerology, we can give Gary Greenberg credit for having the best reputation and the one who has really put a lot of gems into the public space, and the wealth of knowledge has just increased that the public has. So it's something that we're going to keep growing. Absolutely.
Brilliant. So now let's get to the next key tool within the Q app, the compatibility calculator. The compatibility calculator in the Q app is a game changer. You take any two birthdays and instantly learn the match. You put in yourself and your wife, how compatible you are. What are the challenges? What are the difficulties your birthdays might go through, right? Let's say you're starting a business. You have a business partner. You want to decide, should you go into business with that person? Should you go into finance? Should you make a deal and sign documents with that person in mind? How compatible you are. If the Q app tells you 20% or 30%, run. That's not a good person to be around. They're gonna drain you of that energy. If the percentages get to 70, 80, 90%, that's an ideal person to work with and align yourself with because it boosts up your friendly energy. See, I gave a reading to a person from Switzerland who was worth hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And see, that I was telling a person about the Q app compatibility calculator, and they're like, how good it is, it's the best thing in the market, nothing ever like it. And that millionaire, he was like, let's put it to the test, right? Let's see it, let's test it. So he gave me his business partner's birthday, and guess what? They had a 97% compatibility. They were a dragon and a monkey, the best numerology all across the board. Ideal match, right? That person, he was shocked, he was hooked, right? This stuff works. I was like, yeah, this is how it goes. But see, most of us in this life don't have the luxury of those 97s falling through the window for us. Some of us, especially everybody watching this, we have to learn about these codes. We have to learn what's a compatible energy, who you should work with, who you shouldn't work with to align yourself with it. Find these people and surround yourself with them to get the benefits, right? Don't leave it up for chance. Take the fate into your own hands and go out there and find these people yourself. That's the power of the Q app. This compatibility calculator is the most advanced numerology and astrology tool ever freaking released. This is not just a numerology calculator. This is not an astrology calculator. This combines everything. Numerology, astrology, everything you can think about is being put into one single calculator tool, right? So you put in a birthday, you put in a second birthday, instant results, how well you're compatible on a 1 to 100% compatibility rate. This is a cheat code. It's one of the best tools and my personal favorite tool within a Q app because it's not just about birth, it's not just about people. You can put yourself and a country. Everything has a founding date. Guys, think about it. Everything has a founding date. Everything is a birthday. This is one thing that unites everybody. Every person has a birthday. Every country has a founding date. Every brand, every company was launched on a certain date. So you take that founding date and compare it to yourself, how well you align with it. Should I be wearing clothes by Nike? Put my birthday and Nike in there, that's an 80% compatibility. I do well wearing clothes by Nike. Put myself and Gucci, for example, that's like a 30% compatibility. I do not see me in any Gucci gear, right? That's the power of the Q app. You can align yourself with every single day as well. Taking yourself and a date, how compatible are you with today's date based off the energy? You have a company to start, you want to get married, put yourself in a QApp calculator to know what you're dealing with. That's one of the best cheat codes, and people don't realize the true value of it. If people actually realized how valuable this information is, they never shut up about it. You see what I'm saying? They never shut up about it, because this is literally a game changer. This knowledge has never been accessible to normal people. It's only now we can bring this stuff to the public. This has all the information from GG33, all the information from Gary, put into one single algorithm with instant results and the most accurate presentation, right? Make sense, Nick?
It feels like, you know, the people finding out about it today, given how early we are like kind of more drawn to it, right? It's like at this stage in the game, if you don't have this edge, and it's already kind of like creeping on the mainstream, it's like you're behind. You know, there's certain software updates that come around every few decades, right? I think this is a major paradigm shift in how people actually navigate and maneuver through this matrix, right? Because that's really what it comes down to. And it's a tool that really transcends what we think is even possible right now. I mean, there's going to be people who use this stuff for ideas we haven't even thought of, right? Who figure out how to use imprinted energy in advanced ways. But I mean, the simple ways are great too. Like you'll never find me driving an Audi because it's a company that was founded in the year of the rooster, and that's just a level of safety I want to take, right? Not saying we can. Vividly like pull up data and statistics and say that like cats shouldn't drive, you know, rooster cars, but we can probably share stories amongst friends and ask about car crashes and figure out like, you know, by hand, like, okay, yeah, wow, a lot of my friends who did get in car crashes were actually in an enemy car. So like these things are things that we could find in our day to day.
Bro,
And
no,
yeah,
let me tell you straight up. This is not a joke. Do not drive a car founded in the enemy year. I gave a reading to a person born 11/4/1971. She was a 33 life by pig. That woman was in a wheelchair. She was disabled. And I got to that part in the reading. I'm telling her, don't drive a Lexus. That's your enemy car. She's like, how did you know I had a crash in a Lexus that left me disabled? That's the reason she's in a wheelchair, because she was driving her enemy sign car. You don't need these problems in your life. And this brings us to the next most important tool within a Q app, the founding dates calendar. No, I'm sorry, the founding dates calculator. We have built a database with every country, every city, every brand, every car that you can think of, right? You can find what you should be around, what you shouldn't be around. What did you say?
this is exactly why we made Q. Like that was the precipice for the product, right? That was the you know, this could be better moment, right? Where everyone was looking up founding dates in our community, and it was a simple you know, let's make this easier, right? If I want to see all the clothing brands or all the car brands, I don't want to have to look up every single one individually. There should be a place where I can easily search up and get all the brands listed and telling me what's the compatibility level. And that's why we made Q. So the way we designed it, if you go to the explore page, you know, even a free user can log in, kind of start to scroll through some of those Q cards, and you'll notice like the three dots, right? Those three dots will either be colored yellow for neutral, red for enemy, and then of course green for friendly. And it's just a visual way to kind of scroll through some of the most popular Qs, you know, founding dates, people, places, things inside of Q, and see what is kind of friendly with you off the bat. Like I think we've put all the states in there for free. We've put a lot of famous people. There's a lot in there that visually you can kind of just get the sense of, you know, how can I use this, right? And it's truly a feature that we want to highlight, right? Explore is the key to kind of putting this knowledge in action, you could say, and actually like making decisions on it, right? It's just with another thing I wanted to just add was like how Q actually helps people and the way I can visualize it. It's like there's so many decisions that we ultimately have to make, and this is like a process of elimination. Like, and not that you need to always go with the friendly energy, but you should at least avoid that enemy energy at the bare minimum, right? And what is that? Like a 1 out of 12 chance that it's an enemy sign, bank, car, city. just try to look at it like that. 1 out of 12, and if you're avoiding that probability, it's probably a good thing. And you're probably following the alignment that you should be in if it's naturally, if it's happening naturally. But anyways, that's kind of my point on that. It's just it's a great tool to kind of eliminate the bad choices off the bat that you may have not even been aware of, right? Where you live actually makes a huge impact, and not just for you, but your family, right? You can eventually, I mean, technically, or I guess, yeah, technically, you can put in your birthday, your wife's birthday, and then your kid's birthday with Florida, and then average that down and kind of figure out, okay, yeah, Florida's pretty good for us, right? Or if the average between the three of you are is not, right? Maybe Florida is not the best place for you. But that could be a feature we build into the queue itself, right? So we're always evolving queue, right? We come up with ideas literally on a hourly to daily basis. Like we're nonstop over here trying to think about how can we get this knowledge into your hands and let you use it in a way that's applicable to your everyday life. So we are hard at work at that. But as we go back and forth, me and Tavit, I'm actually obviously working behind the scenes here. So I'll let Tavit keep going here. But just wanted to add that. But feel free to call me anytime, Tavit. I'm here, man.
Hey, brilliant. Hey, everybody, double is in the chat. Place 1 in the chat if you love seeing Nick up here. He's a 7 life path. He's a 6 life path. He's born on the 7, right? He doesn't really come up here, and I had to push. I had to make my way to convince him to come up here and actually talk and communicate with the people as well, right? But see, he said he's not good at talking. I would say he's brilliant. He's, this 6 life path on a 7 is very good at expressing his thoughts, very good at saying what's on his mind, and I think it's a joy to have him on here. So let's see what the chat. Plus 1 in the chat if you enjoy hearing what the mastermind behind Q has to say. Nick, if you look at the chat, there's nothing but 1s coming up. There's nothing but 1s coming up for you, brother.
I appreciate the 1s. I appreciate the 1s. But I will say, I'm someone who has a lot of thoughts, and they flow. If you have a lot of thoughts, you could just kind of get them out. And
you're a cat, bro. You're a cat. It makes sense, guys. GG33 was founded 2011 in a cat year. QApp was founded 2023 in a cat year. It makes sense. Cats are running the show, and you're the one leading it. So, bro, you want to open up the YouTube? You should see all of these 1s up there. You should see all of those 1s in here. People appreciate you coming on here. People want to see what's behind the scenes. People want to see what's actually the driving force behind the Q app. And that's going to be Nick right here. The one making it all possible. So we're all very, very grateful for it. So see, let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going with the Q app, right? So with this founding dates energy, right? Think about it. You have your brands. You have your cars, your countries, your cities, the bank account, the collection, the database of Q founding dates is vast, is seemingly infinite, right? You can align yourself in every aspect of your life. The more you do it, the better things will go. So now let's move to the next aspect of the Q app, which is the letterology calculator. Letterology, wait 1 second. I got a reading, let's see. 023, brother, you need to go with yourself better. You said 023 2000. I have no idea what the month is said. Agent Wick, you pay me $20, but I don't know what they said. So Agent Wick 30, be sure to give me in the birthday. What's the correct birthday for the girl for you? 023, you're not born on the 0 month, brother. Give me the right birthday. But essentially, let's in the meantime, while Agent Wick gets back to me, let's go to the next app in the Q app, which is the letterology calculator. Letterology and gematria is a big part of numerology as well. Every letter has its own frequency, and you calculate it by aligning it with the alphabet. A is the first letter, B is the second letter, C is the third letter. When you look at a word like man, the first vowel is A, the first letter. 1 is male energy. When you take man, M is the 13th letter, A is the first, N is the 14th, adds up to a 1. So man makes sense, male energy 1. When you look at the word like work, W is 23, O is 15, R is 18, K is 11, adds up to a 4. That's why we always say 4 is the number of work. So you see how the English language is coded with numerology. Your name imprints a lot of energy to you as well. Let's say your first, your name starts with A, like Aaron, you're gonna be more aggressive, you're gonna be more argumentative, you're gonna do well as a leader. Let's say your name starts with a C, right? You're gonna be more talkative, you wanna be more social, as T is the third letter, the number of communication. Let's say your name starts with E, like Estelle, like, Helena, right? You're gonna be more attractive, you're gonna be more sexual with that 5 energy of yours. Let's say your first vowel in the name is an I, you're gonna be more adaptive. Like I say, Nick, your first vowel is 9, you can be very adaptive. You can fit in with, you can deal with a lot of different people, can't you? You can go into talking with billionaires, next moment you can be in a hood with the boys, doesn't matter, right? You can fit in. That's the 9 energy, and see, your name has a huge imprint in your life as well. That's the power of the Q app. We have it all. We got it covered, right? So you put your name into the Q letterology tool, you're gonna get that insight of what the name truly holds. And we don't talk about destiny numbers, we don't talk about expression numbers. Most of that stuff is nonsense, right? The best way of using letterology is to actually figure out numerology yourself. Is to decode the names, decode the words, decode the meanings to figure out what it means, right? When you look at the word like beta, starts with B, the second letter, 2 is the number piece, 2 is the feminine energy. Makes sense, beta is the one who's the second, right? The follower. Just like someone who's very aggressive starts with A, 1 energy, makes sense, they're gonna be more like a leader, right? So all of numerology, when you look at the word like genius starts with G, the 7th letter, makes sense. 7's a smart, 7's a one who intelligent. When you look at the word like intelligence, starts with I, the 9th letter, 9's are very intelligent. People whose name starts with I, or people whose first vowel in the name is an I, they're generally very, very intelligent. They can figure stuff out, they can piece this stuff together, because the 9 is a very intelligent number, right? So even the names have a big imprint, and that's the power of the Q app. It lets you align and decode on the name side as well. So here in the Q app, we got it all covered, right? We definitely do. So let me get through some readings in meanwhile. So we got Agent Wick, you gave me your birthday now, 202-23-2000. So you are a 9 life path, your girlfriend is 8/14/2005. Let me calculate it. 7 plus 5 is a 3, 11. Started dating on 12/21/2025. Her Venus sign is Virgo and yours is Capricorn. Any advice, any predictions? Yeah, this relationship is gonna suck. You're gonna get divorced. This is not a good one for you, brother. But this is not a person you should be with. This is not gonna benefit you. This person is gonna drag you down. There might be a sense of attraction. There might be a sense of, pull coming from within. That's a very sexual person. That person looks good. That's why you're so attracted to her. She looks good. Her body looks good. Her face looks good. Everything about her, you love the way she looks. But the energy of her is not gonna benefit you. Yeah, this is putting smiley faces in the chat. He knows I'm right. He knows he's with that girl for her looks. She's a dime piece. That's a rooster born at 14 in 2005. She got a body like damn. But see, let me tell you, brother, that ain't good for you. He's gonna drag you down. He's not gonna benefit you. Goddamn right, he says. We know, bro. We know. I know this. You know it as well, right? This is the power of numerology. So do a favor for yourself. Get into the Q app. Put in your birthday. Put in the girl's birthday, and see the compatibility. You're gonna see that's like a 40-30%, brother. That ain't good for you. So do yourself a favor, find someone who you're compatible with, find someone you're in a 70s, 80s, 90s with, to see the benefits of aligning with your friendly energy. So you pay me $20, you got information that's gonna save you thousands. Don't get that bitch locked up, don't get her pregnant, better to avoid, brother. So get out, you're in Lifetime, my guy, bro. You're in Lifetime, you're family, so you know how this stuff works. You don't need me to tell you this. Find the 2004, bro. 2004, Dragon and the Monkey, as good as it gets.
One of my favorite things.
Nick, this guy said he tried breaking up and ended up spending the night. Those 9 life paths, huh? Those 9 life paths can't help themselves, can they?
I mean, I got some 9 energy in me, Well, I will say this,
Yeah.
Let me think about that 1 second. Let me hold off on that thought.
All right, we'll come back to. We got 13 2000 Q lifetime. My brother, Easy Bout. Shout out to you, Easy Bout, part of the family. I hope you've been part of the weekly Q&As we do for the lifetime members on Discord. Definitely tap in, lock in. So you're on 13 2000. Let's see, you are 6 life patches like Nick up here. Tell me what I can't find. Love advice. Become more talkative, shy. I mean, you're born on the 3rd of January, bro. If you're shy, you're going against energy. People born on the 3rd, you gotta take your communication skills and put it to work for you. See, I get it. You're a 6 life path. You take time to ease up to people. When you meet someone, you shy at first, and then when you get to know the person, you can't shut up. That's the 6 life path energy. So you at being born on the 3rd, you can't let that get in the way of your skills. You being born on the 3rd of January, the most pure 3 day of the year, you gotta put yourself out there and gain experience. That's the main thing about people with 3 energy. It a lot of times doesn't come naturally for them. You know, with communication, with talking, you still need experience, right? Experience is the best teacher. You can look someone like IShowSpeed, born on the 21st. When he's just started streaming, he was not that good at talking. It took him years and years of experience to get to the position he's in right now to entertain hundreds of thousands of people at once, right? So you as well, especially 6 life path, you want to level up, you want to be better, want to be the best version of yourself. Put yourself in those positions when you're comfortable talking, when you're comfortable socializing, and you can turn that communication into your biggest strength. That's my advice for you, bro. Being on 3rd of January, you cannot be shy, right? Communication, Nick, I'll get to in a second. Communication is key, but communication can have many different forms. You could be like Tolkien, born 3rd of January, the same day as you. His communication was through writing. J.R. Tolkien, he wrote The Lord of the Rings. He invented new languages for his books. That's 3 energy taken to the peak. So you could be communicating through the social media. You could be communicating through the, content creation, writing blogs, writing articles, or meeting people in person. Find what works for you and turn that into your biggest strength. Nick, what you gotta say?
No, the words there, communication, right? Activation. It's like the similarities there. It's like in order to really become a good speaker, no matter your energy, you have to activate it. It's kind of a chakra, the throat chakra. So you need experience to then get that activation, especially someone like that, born January 3rd, where, being a 6 life path, like you said, I'm very familiar with that feeling of, I want to be a little bit more comfortable before I start speaking. And that could hold someone back who has that 3 energy as a skill, right? So just like Tavid said, tap into it and push forward beyond those like boundaries where you feel like you should be comfortable. Just get to it and start communicating, But yeah, that I was gonna say earlier, I think one of my favorite things about numerology or Q, kind of, and I don't know if it's being a cat, but I like being able to give people advice, and tell people like what I think they should be doing, logically, backing it with, not my opinion, but something we've seen proven time and time again have a higher probability of happening than not, right? Even if it's a 60% set, it's an edge, right? If we see this pattern and I can, that's the only way I'm able to give advice to people. If I know, like, I wouldn't give people, the bad edge. I'm trying to give people the edge, right? So, yeah, just a note, that's kind of one of my favorite things about it. And I could see myself like really getting into maybe in the future, like some type of consulting, like life consulting, because I really love the idea of understanding people's strengths, their weaknesses. It kind of comes from my background as a recruiter, and then helping them make the most of it. Like, what are they going to create? What opportunity or work will they have because of those strengths and weaknesses? So, it's unique, what we have here at Q, and it's going to be great to see us, keep growing it in ways that people didn't imagine. I think we'll look back at Q, right, years from now and say, "Wow, I couldn't have imagined it was going to become that." That's my goal with the company and what we're doing. It's beyond an app, I say.
Makes sense. So essentially, what he's trying to say is QApp is a movement. QApp is what's gonna take numerology and astrology to a completely different level. QApp is not here to replace GG33. QApp is to enhance it. QApp is to take everything, all the effort GG33 as a collective has been putting in for, you know, decades, and take it to the next level. Take it to the mainstream. Give people a product, give people a service, something that everybody can tap into for a very reasonable price. So if you're not in the QApp, highly recommend getting into it and get into Q Lifetime. The Q Lifetime is one of the best communities in the world. Q Lifetime essentially gets you being part of the team, right? We have an active community of people learning together and studying together. We have weekly Q&As where you can come in and ask me, ask Nick, everything you want on a personal level as well. Stuff we don't say to the public is accessible for you in a Q Lifetime Discord. So Q Lifetime is one of the best investments you can make right now, because you know, this type of value, this type of insight is hard to come by, especially when it comes to, you know, an active community like we have building in the Q app. These are people who invest in us, and we're gonna be investing in you. So definitely tap in. Now let me.
There's only one way to invest in Q, and it's lifetime. You know, so that if you're looking for a company to invest in and you want their services for a long time, you know, there's very few opportunities like the lifetime offer. So we're closing it at 1,000, as everyone knows, and we're just gonna keep having limited spots, you know, every month until we reach that 1,000. And I will be honest, we're probably around like 600, but that's not including the entire GG33 network, gold members who have joined, you know, who got, and if you're a gold member listening, you should know you do have lifetime included. That was something Gary did for all his gold members. Lifetime, Q Lifetime is absolutely 100% included for you. So yeah, you know, the community is just getting started. Tabit, we're having what, 50, you know, 40 people join every week on those Sunday calls. So we haven't even really put the word out there, you know, sending emails to the lifetime members and existing members that we're doing this. And we hope to just keep growing it and it becoming something that you can really look forward to, connecting with people like-minded, get advice from people, really get into the community early, right? It's an early stage community, and it's definitely getting more active recently. So that's our way to kind of give back further, because we could just, you know, let you figure out the app and not have any community. You know, this is like a cherry on top, you could say. It's something we want to do to kind of keep you guys also informed, not just from a numerology side, but or knowledge side from Tava and his expertise and readings and whatnot, but from the vision of the company, you know, what we want to do and what we want to be able to provide as a service to the world as we grow. So it's kind of having that inside look behind the scenes. You know, you have a lot of companies that build in public, which I think we'll get into that more and more, like especially this year. I'm in my 5 cycle, so I kind of need to get out there more, right? I need to represent the company and get things you know, out there, right? We deserve some level of press for the accomplishments we've had. I mean, what, close to 300,000 downloads now in under 2 years, and you know, 55,000 active users, unique active users every month. So it's pretty great to see where we've come in such a short amount of time in our space, and it just gets us really hyped and excited for, you know, what we have coming in the next year. I would say we'll have 10x the people next year in the in those calls, Tabit.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, anybody new coming up here who doesn't know who's the guy speaking, this is the mastermind of the Q app. This is Nick, and this is the guy leading the charge. This is the CEO, the founder of Q app, who I have brought you out here today. I put him into the position. I told him, we're going live today. Ain't no way around it. And he's here delivering. So you guys get to enjoy the presence, enjoy the aura, enjoy the knowledge of the mastermind behind it all. And we're all very grateful to have you up here, aren't we, guys? Let's see some love in the chat. Let's get some ones in the chat for Nick. You want to see Nick up here one more? Put those ones in the chat. What's going on, bro? What do you want to say?
No, everything we've done at Q is only possible because of the people who showed up, you know, around myself, Gary, Roger, you know, the team, the founding team, and you know, it's just been an amazing process of coming from a real tough grind, you know, the corporate world, 8 to 6, you know, I was working tough hours and, you know, driving 2 hours, you know, so my whole life was working. And a quote that kind of stuck with me and sticks with me today, it's like, if you have 8 hours a day to work for someone else's dreams, you definitely have at least 1 other hour to do a little side project, per day and build that up 1% better every day. And I hope within this community we can inspire more creation and more kind of entrepreneurs out there to really tap into their best. That's kind of what Find Your Great is all about, our slogan. We're trying to truly help people find the great things in life that make them great, right? Find that good energy, avoid that negative energy and really tap in to your your higher self and your best self. So that is the goal we have, and it's not just me here. It's me kind of trying to push a certain vision forward, but we have at least 10, 15 people kind of closely involved to the project at this point. We're kind of always hiring and looking for talented people, and we know the direction. We know Q has the potential to be an extremely powerful and large company within the close of this decade, and for sure within into 2030s, right? I mean, we we have big goals, and it's going to be powered by a big team. It's not just one mind here. It's great to see how it was kind of one mind maybe like a year or two ago, but now we've got tons of great minds surrounding me, and I really couldn't be more grateful to be surrounded by all those minds. You included, Tavi. I mean, you've been changing our marketing, our appeal. You've really been helping the people understand what it is, and I couldn't be more grateful to have you on the team, man.
Hey,
Honestly,
I appreciate
as a
it, but you
partner.
you should see all the ones in the chat, bro. We got the Younger, we got Yannick, Paula, John Jennings, Dan Marcelo, Life of MC. We got all these ones up in here saying they want more of Nick. They want to hear what you have to say, and as they should, because this is an expert talking right here. This is the one, this is a master numerologist who's actually making a difference and bringing this product to you. So every word this man has to say, y'all should be taking notes. Let's put it like that. But now,
And it's a great point you make. We've put a lot of numerology into the company itself, and you guys don't realize how much you benefit when you get to work with the company that's pushing good energy and trying to actively align with good things around it. It trickles down. I'll just say that.
all
It
right.
definitely
So
trickles
Nick, let's put your skills to the test. We got a birthday, six
down.
two
Sure.
2005. We got a 6 life path born on a June the 2nd, year of the rooster. What do you have to say for them?
Well, you're conflicting there highly with just looking at the being born on the second and then being a rooster. Roosters are known to just be very combative, and then the second in you is really going to just want to be more peaceful. I'm sure as a sixth life path, you probably lean closer to the nurturing and kind of being of service side. So I would just say try to find that balance. If you find yourself kind of being not aggressive enough, maybe try to tap into your rooster side. If you find yourself not being peaceful enough, you're being a little too aggressive, find that balance. That's all I'll say. A lot of times you look at birth dates, and if you find the proper balance, there's always a test in there for you. It's a personal test. I can't really tell you exactly what all these energies mean for you. It's like it's a canvas, and it's like a matter of you kind of knowing the art and knowing your life and where and how those strengths or weaknesses are going to fit in. So that's my tad piece of advice, if that makes sense.
Hey, well said, and it makes sense. You're an expert. You got it straight on. So what I would add on up until this is what you touched on up as well. If you're a rooster born on a second, you're naturally very aggressive, but see, your aggressiveness, you should never be the one starting fights. People born on a second, you should never be the one throwing the first punch. You can be the one as a protector, you can be the one to finish a fight, you should never be the one starting it, because then it's not gonna end up in your favor. So now, being a rooster and a 6 life path, you are loyal to the core. You are naturally very, very loyal person. So make sure that loyalty doesn't come with a cost. Make sure you're not being loyal to causes that don't benefit you. That's one of the main things I see sixes and roosters, kind of hold them back in life. When you dedicate yourself, it's for life, right? When you give your loyalty to the person, it's ride or die. So when that person starts switching up and they're not, in the same, if they're not the same as when you started with them, then it's a conflict of interest. You feel like you want to be loyal to them, but it's not going to serve you well. So at those situations, you got to be very careful to make sure you don't get stepped over, to make sure you don't get taken for granted and taken for advantage, right? That's my advice for you. Now, next up, 4/9/2002, going into the horse year, male in sales, 7/16/2002, been together for 6 years, hit me with some game. Alright, so let's see. Yes, you're an 8 life path born together with a 9 life path horse. So you're both horses, right? That I recommend. Horse and horse get along very well together. Horse and horse together, you're definitely on the same page. Definitely can get along. You both have the 9 energy. So what I tell you for your relationship is all about the environment. The environment you spend time together in. If you take that girl out to a date, take her to a nice restaurant. Take her to a fancy restaurant. You taking her out on a trip, don't be in a motel. Take her to a 5-star hotel to really be the best version of yourself. Because environment is key for people with 9 energy. She's a 9 life path. You born on the 9th. Environment is key. You really wanna, and the environment is not just about the people around you, it's also about the environment. The car you drive, the clothes you wear, the environment you spend time in, right? The neighbor you're in, the hotel you're living in, the house you're living in, everything has an effect. So you wanna benefit your relationship, be in a nice place, stuff that resonates with you, to be of top quality, top shelf, everything, to be the best version for each other as well. Now, when two people with 9 energy get together, they can act like a mirror. So what happens when you put two mirrors together? It's like goes into infinity. So look at the word mirror, right? M-I-I-R-O-R. M-I-R-R-O-R, right? So when you look at letterology, it's like M99909. So you see, it makes sense. 9s are like a mirror. 9s are the ones who reflect back what they receive. So with both of you being 9 energy, a lot of times you just gotta focus and be the best version of yourself. If you don't like something about your girlfriend or your wife, might be something that actually problems with you, right? You wanna be a best version of yourself for her to be the best version of herself. She has to focus on being the best version of herself for you to be the best version of yourself. Because 9s adapt, 9 is like the mirror. I hope that's enough game for you, brother. I got Charles C. Hope that helps. All right.
The nines, they really need to like energy max. They got to be the best energy maxers. They got to make sure they're surrounded by the right people, places, things, because I mean, all that's gonna soak right in. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
They should really.
Next one, we got Alex Vega. How's the chemistry between 2/23/1990 and 3/5/1993? Nick, would you mind putting this up into the Q calculator?
What is it?
It says February 23rd, 1990 and the 5th of March, 1992. Give you Alex Vega, give you the real insight, give you the proper knowledge.
So say that one more time.
February 23rd, 1990 for the male, and the female is March 5th, 1992.
Okay, March 5th, 1992. You want me to check their compatibility?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Bro, we're still getting ones in the chat. We're still getting ones in the chat for people who want to see Nick come up on the stream more.
We're getting about a 50%, and I would say that means things can go kind of 50-50 either way. The best way to visualize the percentage that you get in Q is like, this is the starting point, right? And you can drop that percentage, you can increase that percentage based on the actions and what you do, and like kind of how do you take the advice that's been given to you in there to either enhance or not enhance that relationship. If you learn, hey, a horse is very stubborn, and you're not catering to this stubbornness that a horse is going to have, well, of course, that percentage may drop theoretically, right? But if you are understanding of this person's natural strengths, traits, perhaps you can bring that 50 to a 60 to a 70 just through knowledge and just through awareness of how to cater to people and their personality, right? Everyone's personality is different, and personality is not just energy. That's just kind of what you naturally are drawn to. Personality is a mix of course, your environment, your people, your family, So just take that 50% and know it can go both ways. I mean, I'm exactly that with my wife, 50%. We're kind of like high school sweethearts. So I didn't really know about numerology. I might have maybe not picked her, but hey, no, I'm kidding.
Hey, don't let her hear that.
No, she's
Watch out.
She's not home. Don't worry.
All right, all good. It makes sense. So what I would add to that is you're both born on the 5 days. So the ladies born on the 5th and you born on the 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. So your compatibility is about sexuality. You know, that's how you solve problems. That's how you get through tough times. You have fun together. You'll be good. That's the key. You gotta perform, brother. You gotta keep up on that. And that's gonna fix a lot of problems in a relationship. Keep it satisfied, and then it's gonna be all good. So she's an 11 life path. So you gotta know how to deal with 11 life path women who are monkeys. Let me be honest, this combination is not easy to deal with. Nick, think about it. That's a monkey, 11 life path, born on the 5th, and a female. That's a tough combination, bro. That's a tough combination. Monkey women are a handful by itself. You had 11 life path into that. God damn, you know what I'm saying? So you just gotta deal with her emotions, you know, you gotta you gotta keep her entertained. That's the thing. You gotta have fun with her, you gotta keep her entertained. Life cannot get too boring, life cannot get too dull. You guys feel best together when you go in doing stuff. When you guys will go you guys gonna thrive together when you're traveling together. You guys gonna thrive together when you're doing different things, right? You know, experiencing constant change in your life. That's your happy place. Take you on a trip, take you on a hotel, take you out on a vacation, and you'll do great. That's not gonna be a problem. If life gets too dull, all work, no play, that's when problems start to appear. So that's my advice for you.
Tavid, how would you rank this report? I'll read one. Tell me which one you want to hear. There's a dynamic, there's a what works, what to watch, and a final tip.
Let's hear it, bro. Let's hear it.
You want to hear them all? All right. We'll go through them all. They're kind of there's a structure to them, right? There's some logic behind it. You have to kind of read between the lines on this report because it is generated by, you know, our AI that we have. It's embedded in, you know, several of the different tools that it's pulling from our data. That's the key to understand. It's pulling from a reputable data source. But anyways, I'll jump into it. So you have the 8 life path horse. I think that's the male, and then the 11 life path monkey. The 8 pushes for results and tests limits, while the 11 brings kind of that intensity and search for deeper meaning, kind of probably more on that spiritual side versus the 8's going to be more material, basically, is what it's saying. The horse moves forward with grit, but the monkey changes direction quickly, right? Monkeys kind of have that mind that's kind of all over the place, kind of a beautiful mind in some ways. But it says both are restless, but they act for different reasons and often misunderstand each other's motives. So that's the dynamic. But on the side of where it says what works, both keep moving and rarely get stuck for long. When focused on a shared goal, their energy can get things moving fast. So, you know, long story short, alignment in what you guys are working towards is always going to be obvious and good feedback. And then what to watch. Problems start when the 8's need for control clashes with the 11's unpredictability. I could see that 8 kind of wanting to be the master of material and 11 being kind of very emotional all over the place sometimes. The horse can see the monkey as scattered while the monkey sees the horse as rigid. Final tip, this pairing only works when both respect each other's pace and stop trying to force their own style. So that's it. How would you rank it? I just want to hear honest opinion. Keep in mind this is a AI that is reading our traits, but based on a certain logic and structure that we gave it, right? So there's some thought behind it. But how would you say that did, Tavid? I saw some parts that, you know, could come off a certain way, but other parts that made sense. What did you think?
I mean, I think that's a lot, bro. I think that's very, very good. That's very, very accurate. This is the type of insight you get from the compatibility calculator, right? These are the tips and tricks you gotta go through. These are the things you gotta work through. If you focus on these things, you'll be great, bro. So again, you know, that's the compatibility. You have 50% compatibility. You're gonna need more work in your relationship, but you have the knowledge. That's half of the battle. So you know what you gotta be going through, what you need to focus on. That's gonna make everything run much more smoother. And you laid it out perfectly, bro. This is the power of the Q compatibility app. It's gonna save relationships. Think how many relationships are we gonna save, bro? How many relationships and marriages and unions are we gonna save and benefit because people understand their own energies, right?
The bar for expert has changed. You know, I'm no longer like, I'm really not an expert, but like, because I couldn't give you that type of detailed, analysis on my own, right? This thing is better than me at this point. And maybe not you, Tabit, of course, you're the human, you're the expert. You've done thousands of readings with real people. I've been in the grind trying to build the tech that helps this get to the masses quicker, right? That help your average guy figure
He
out.
said, wait. He said very accurate. You didn't even hear half the thing he said.
Really?
What do you mean by that? We didn't even hear the half the thing he said. Oh, that's a woman. I think the woman is talking. But yes, he said very accurate. He said very
Well,
accurate.
here's the thing, and I'll tell you one more thing about one of my favorite features in Q is not the AI itself, but the way the AI is communicating with the data, right? The words and the text inside of the app. So by that I mean, Tavid's a genius in his own right. He's got a lot of things memorized. He can give you accurate readings on the spot. But Q is storing a lot of things that Tavid's written himself, a lot of Tavid's own knowledge, all the traits you would consider for numerology, for Chinese astrology, and then for Western astrology. And if you go to this AI in the app, it's one of the many, 30, 40 tools that we have on the AI page with all the different chats. It looks like Skittles, a bunch of different tools. And you can pick the All About You. It's towards the bottom. You can actually move those widgets. If you hold it, you can put your favorite one at the top. It'll wiggle like apps. But long story short, All About You is an AI that basically takes the data from the calculator for your specific birthday and then allows you to ask various questions, and it'll give you feedback based on a certain, logic that we gave it, a weighing system, and other kind of algorithms behind there to give you a combined insight. Like never have we ever had a like consolidated place of information and it being able to say, hey, I've only looked at this. I didn't Google things. I didn't go to ChatGPT. We only looked at Q's verified database. We saw you're a sixth life path, born on the 7th, born as a Cancer. All these combinations bring a very unique, insight, and you can ask it things that maybe I wouldn't connect, or maybe Tabit wouldn't connect about yourself, about your combination, about how do you find that balance between the day you're born, with the life path, with the Chinese astrology, and all these things that kind of make up your energy code, right? So it's not to say to get lost in the AI, but there is insight that's interesting that you can only get because the AI now is reading it all, right? Another random example, but kind of off topic, is like the travel, right? If I'm looking for a beach in Florida and I really want it to be a friendly city, I could say, give me beaches in Florida that is a friendly city, and that's the beach I end up going to, right? And that's just one of the many. Show me a mountain range. You could tell it locations, and it can use that logic in that context. So that's the unique part of what we've done with AI, and I just want to emphasize that because it could be overlooked on why we did AI and how we do AI. It's not ChatGPT, it's not Grok. It's basically our tool to read our information and then let you talk to it. It's just a tool to talk to Q, if that makes sense. I hope that made sense.
Makes perfect sense to me, bro. Happy to have you, happy to have you on here sharing this knowledge. So let's go into the next couple of readings. Nick, I'll give you some downtime to continue on your work.
Yeah,
I got some stuff that's some readings. So we got the monkey with $17. Appreciate it, monkey. Good to see you back, Tyler. Good to be back, bro. I'm back. I'm not leaving, bro. I had a 2-month break in live streams. I missed it. I missed all of you guys. I missed being up here. You're gonna see it only grow more and more and more throughout 2026. Because look at the year 2026. If you take my birthday, 7/20/1999, you keep it all whole added up, it's 2026. 2026 is my big year. That's how you figure out your big year in numerology. You take your birthday, the year, month, and the date, and you add it up and you keep it whole. That's your big year when peak changes are bound to happen. So for me, that's 2026. So for the next 11 months, you'll see me locking in and tapping in and awakening every single person in humanity as much as I can. So let's get to your question. During your 7 personal year, should you completely stop working out to reduce risk of injury, or just 7 days as normal? So in your 7 personal year, I'm on one life path, right? So when I had my 7 personal year in 2023 to 2024, I was still working out. I was going to the gym. I was doing my thing because I don't want to be a weak motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I gotta still work. I gotta get stuff done. So in your 7 personal year, I would advise honestly to still take care of your health, to go for a run, go take care of your health, because it's not worth it to completely neglect it. Completely neglecting the physical side of life is gonna attract injuries. It's gonna attract problems. It's gonna attract problems. You don't need that in your life. In the 7% leader, what you do want to do is maintain, keep a healthy environment, keep a healthy persona, keep a healthy body, work out, go for a run, but don't do anything crazy. Don't take unnecessary chances with your health. I don't advise in a 7% leader to, for example, go into bodybuilding, to start taking steroids, to start going for personal records in your workouts, to start benching too much that you can handle. I would not recommend it, bro. In a 7% leader, take good care of your health, but don't take any unnecessary chances. You don't wanna improve. You don't wanna, take it to the next stage. You wanna maintain, right? Maintain a healthy body. Take care of your health, right? This is honestly my advice for everybody born on the 7th, 16th, 25th, or someone who's the 7 life path. Take good care of your health, because 7's bodies start breaking down faster than others. A lot of 7s, they start having health issues when they're older. A lot of 7s I talk to, in the 50s, in the 60s, in the 70s, even in the 40s, that's when they start having health issues. So if you're a young person right now, let's say in a teenage years or in your 20s, and you're a 7, think longevity. Think long term. What steps can you take now to make your health better throughout the years, so you can avoid the other problems that most 7s have naturally, right? The 7 is not a good number for health, so move accordingly. Put your health and longevity as a priority in your life. That's gonna go a long way to avoid those problems. In the 7% leader, you can definitely still work out. You can definitely still do stuff, but don't go too hard. Don't take, too many risks. Don't be putting yourself in a situation where you might twist a, muscle or tear a muscle, and something fucked up's gonna happen in your life that you regret later on, right? So that's my simple advice to you. Use logic, bro. Use logic. Think common sense is the winner. Especially now in 2026, common sense prevails, right? So even with numerology astrology, you don't want to become too obsessive with it. You don't want, like Nick said before, you don't want to become too obsessive when you just going based off that. Like, you want to use common sense. Numerology astrology is essentially the base code of common sense. Think about it, right? This is the, ground zero, the 101 of common sense energy, right? So you apply your common sense, you apply logic to the energy, that's what's gonna get results. So yeah, you can definitely work out, just don't go too crazy with it, my brother. Alright, next up. Shit, we got a lot of readings to go through. Hey David, 8/24, 1982, 7 Life by 60, coming up on a horse here, which is a good day to start up on an LLC for a business. So let's see, I would go for something like the... Let me think. I would go honestly for the 8th of April, 17th of April, or 26th of April. Those seem like they're pretty good days for LLC. But see, you gotta tell me, brother, what's the LLC you're dealing with? Not every LLC is the same. Every business is different. Let's say you're selling gold and you're selling coffee. Those things need different dates. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta tell me the context. What is this selling? What is the LLC about? What is your goals with it? Are you online? Are you in person? Are you dealing with, debt? Are you not? What are you dealing with? Are you dealing with foreign countries? Are you dealing with, sales? Are you doing education? You gotta tell me the context if you want a full founding date. But if I was just to tell you with this, dog in a horse year, 8th of April, 17th of April, 26th of April, best days for you, my brother. Go with that. That's a very safe option, but definitely give me the extra insight. Alright, we got the next one. 10/15, 2000. So you are 9 life path, born near the dragon, born the 16th. You're looking to join GG3 to be paid, Q versus bronze, thoughts. So I would recommend honestly to get into Q Lifetime. Q Lifetime is gonna be the best, because if you join Q Lifetime, you're gonna get bronze at a discount anyways. So it's like plus negative for you to, anyways get into the queue. And Q is gonna like, Q has so much insight, right? When it comes to friendly and enemy numbers, you learn that with Q lifetime. The knowledge of GG33 bronze is essentially all being put into the Q at lifetime. So I 100% recommend you to get into the Q lifetime and then using the discount price, getting into the bronze as well. Highly recommended. When it comes to you being a 9 life path on the 15th, family is gonna play a big role in your life. You're very loyal, you're a very honorable person. Most 9 life paths aren't like that. Most 9 life paths are flaky. But you being a drag up on a 15th, when you give your word, it can be. So money should be going pretty well for you in life. I think you're gonna do very well in your 30s and your 40s when it comes to finance, but it's gonna be about the people around you. You need to be around positive influence. You need to, your surroundings is key. Don't let family members drag you down. With your energy, it's very easy to get lost, with relatives, with family members who you want to be loyal to because they're blood, you're programmed to be loyal to people around you, but a lot of times they might not be the best for you, right? So just think carefully and observe people around you. Even if you're a family member, you gotta look at the person and decide if they're good for you, if they're benefiting you, or if they're dragging you down. So that's advice for you. Be very honest with yourself, who you want to surround yourself with. 2028 is gonna be your lucky year. God damn, 2028 is honestly looking to be like your golden year opportunity. God damn, you're gonna be in a, see, after your birthday, right? First you're in a 9-person year. After your birthday, you're going into like a 28-person year in 2028. God damn, bro, your golden ticket opportunity is 2028 after your birthday. Launch a company during that period. You thank me, 10 years down the line. I expect a check after that. Let's hear it. Now, next up, Steven Lascala 6557 with $20. Appreciate it, brother. For Yardina Lascala 12/2/1982. So let's see, that's a 9 life path born a second in the year of the dog. So people born 9 life paths born near the dog historically have made some of the best singers. The best singers have always been 9 life path dogs. Elvis, 9 life path dog. Prince, 9 life path dog. Justin Bieber, 9 life path dog. Bad Bunny, 9 life path dog. Andrea Bocelli, 9 life path dog. This is just 5 examples off the top of my head of 5 life path dogs dominating music. Because dogs love attention. Dogs do very well in the spotlight. 9s have an instinct. 9s have a talent when it comes to singing, when it comes to their voice. Look at the word voice. You add it up, VOICE adds up to a 9. Right? When you look at the word sing, the first vowel is I, the 9th letter. Makes sense. 9s make for the great singers. 9s have great voices. Right? Who doesn't love Morgan Freeman's voice? Morgan Freeman's a 9 life path. Makes sense, doesn't it, right? So you, for that person, a 9 life path dog, I mean, if they're into singing, if they have a good voice, that's something to take advantage. If not, they gotta be careful of their emotions. That sort of birthday can struggle with addictions. That sort of birthday can definitely look into substances and things to kind of slow them down and things to kind of, drain them of energy. Like they're looking for something to drain them, if that makes sense, right? So for that person, its environment is key. Being around people who are nice. If they have people around them who are aggressive, if they have people around them who are very argumentative and fighting against them, they're just dragging them down. That person needs someone who uplifts them. That person needs someone around them who boosts them up. Just like a dog needs someone who tell them how, who's a good boy, right? Who's a good boy? You're a good boy, right? That person needs someone to always be there to affirm to them that they're good, they're doing well, they need constant attention, they need constant affirmation, they need affection. So I'm thinking you say 4, Yadira Lavala. If that's you, then I will say to look for that. If that's your wife, for example, I would say to shower her with love. That's a person who doesn't do well with tough love. That's a person who responds best to positive insight, to guidance, and of good energy. That's my advice for that. And 2026 should be a very good year with a lot of changes. So be open to those changes. 2026 might be a life-changing year for life. Makes sense? Alright, let's go to the next one. I want to leave things better than I found them. What would you recommend when breaking up with 11? I've taught her GG3 to numerology, tarot, and also esoterics. Just a heads up on that. Break up with her and run. That's my advice, brother. Break up with her and run. You don't want to deal with 11 to get some motion in that front. Ayo, so anything else I can tell you with, bro? Feel free to ask, but I don't know what else can I tell you, bro. You taught her GG3 numerology. Tell her your enemy numbers. You're dragging each other down. Just make it be a friendly, how to say, separation. You don't need these problems. You don't need, issues in your life. So just go about it, in a friendly, emotionally balanced type of way. AO530 legend with $5. You didn't actually send me anything, bro. You sent me a donation of $5. I appreciate it, but you forgot to put a message, so I don't know what to tell you. It is what it is.
The truth hurts, doesn't it?
Huh?
The truth hurts.
Truth hurts. It definitely does.
Yeah, people, they get into numerology and if they find out something that they don't like about it, it's like that actually going through that hurt because you got that truth now versus later is the benefit of numerology. It's like knowing now is saving you from the effect later, kind of cutting that cause out early. And it's going to hurt. And, especially if you're attracted to a life path that's opposite to you, or, I've seen a lot of fatal attractions, but yeah, it is what it is. You just got to kind of go with the flow. And yeah, like Tavid said, I would just try to make it a peaceful separation. So.
Yo, we got Scorpio Ox in the chat, bro. That's your brother, no? That's part of the team. That's family. Scorpio Ox, happy to have you in here.
OG, he goes back to the Q web app. That man is legendary. He's been supporting us for a long time. We even got the chance to meet him. He's in person in New York City. He hosted us, and it was a great time. He hosted the Q team, and yeah, legendary. And it's awesome. That's the thing of the community that we want to do is like it becomes a place where you can network and meet people like Angel. He's in there. He's always active. Yeah, shout out to you, my friend.
Hey, you better host my ass as well when I ever come down there. Keep that in mind. You gotta you better
house.
give it to me as well, brother. Anyways,
his house is huge.
His house is huge.
Massive building. No,
makes sense. Yo, an Ox and a Scorpio makes sense. He's about that bag. Scorpio is the 8th sign, Ox is the number of wealth, and Ox is the sign of wealth. Makes sense.
He can host all of Q. He can host all of Lifetime members, actually. That's how big his place is.
Maybe a Q Lifetime event in New York. I don't really want to go to New York. We keep it in Miami, brother. I'm sorry. We keep it in Miami. We keep it South Florida. So you gotta bring your ass up to here, my brother. So anyways, we got a couple more. Nick, check this out. There's a guy saying... I live in a 28 hours code, and he sold 1.1 million last year when it comes to sales business, but it comes to karma. So if you sold 1.1 million living in a 28 hours house, you better get into the Q Lifetime. You better show love for us. You better tap in to that side of energy. If you made 1.1 million, there's no excuse for you not being a Q Lifetime. The benefit you get, that's going to take you to 10 million. That's going to take you to 100 million if you are a millionaire ready and applying this information to yourself. What do you got to say?
If 28 energy is doing that for him, and Q has the 28 energy. So you just always envision that 10x, right? What is 10x? They've made the term 10x so famous, and 28 is 2 + 8. That's 10, right? Just some side context. I moved into a building. Well, I'm gonna dox myself now. It's called 10x, right? And then my apartment number was 703, and Q, that's Q's lucky number, right? We were founded July 28th, 2023. For those who don't know, your lucky number is always going to be the first digit, so that's 7 for Q, and then the last digit, the 3, so 73. And we quite literally 10x'd the size of this company, reach, downloads, you name it, within this period of time that I moved in about 11 months ago now. So. Addresses have a huge impact. I mean, some of the best and biggest businesses in the world have very unique addresses for good reason. And they definitely know that planting that physical imprint in that location is a way to, you know, kind of being in a state of energy, you could say, right? And look at it. We call states, right? The state of Florida, the state of snake energy, you could say, right? And everything's an energy, everything's a vibration, and it's a matter of tapping into it. But yeah, that's a deeper thought I had the other day. I'm like, huh, they call all these states, and it's like, at your location, the geography, all these things, it's all energy. And if you know how to see the lens and navigate and maneuver it, all benefit to you. A 28 home, that's what he said, a 28 address home.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's legendary. I wouldn't be surprised, like, 20, 30 years from now, you go on whatever platform it is, maybe it's Q, and you're looking up a building to live in, and it's like, oh, look, this is a 28 house, and it's more expensive. Why? Because of the energy, right? 8 homes will be more expensive than 7 homes. 7 homes will be like, oh, don't want to live there. Like always fixing shit. Shit's always breaking. It's always costing you money. I mean, I've seen that in people who my wife's stepfather, 7 house. The guy's always fixing stuff. AC's always breaking. I mean, if you really knew the energy and you just started to watch the things in your life, you don't have to call every single thing out, but just watch. Watch for some time. You'll quickly understand where and how you can apply it in your own life. I think the part where people start to get a little off it is when they're calling every single thing out, and like everyone, everywhere you go, that's all you talk about, and people can't be normal with you because you're just talking about the God code and the freaking Matrix code all the time, and you're freaking them out. That could be a thing. I feel like I used to fall in that bucket. Just being
I was
passionate
just gonna
about.
say that sounds like me, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
People
When you're
like
passionate
when I
about
talk with
this.
my family, they're like, "Yo, don't tell me all of this bullshit. Don't tell me all of these conspiracies. They don't want to hear it. They want to,
And that's
live
exactly what it is.
in the safety net,
It's
bro."
numerology is the ultimate conspiracy. It's like the boss level conspiracy because you have to either prove it or disprove it. And if you can't prove it, can't figure it out, then you know, you're not really, or you're not even using it, right? If you come across this numerology conspiracy and you're not even a little bit curious to say, okay, let me see, I have a business, I'm gonna price things in eights. Let me see how that helps. You're not curious to see the freaking numbers next week, like you're not a business owner. You're not serious, right? So we see this. We see businesses. We advise people who are absolutely taking this knowledge and putting it into the real world because there's nothing against it. It's absolutely free game. And
Brother, we advise trillionaires that we
yeah,
have trillionaires who are using the Q app. You guys might think we're capping, public trillionaires. No one's have a trillion. I'm not talking about public, bro. We have literal trillionaires using the Q app on a daily basis, just like all of you are. So you want to use Q app to make more money? Start pricing your product in eights. Let's say your price in your product is $350. May no this. No, made me fuck.
yo,
I fucked up the
yeah.
clip. Wait one
Wait.
second.
That's a crazy point you've made there. Like honestly, like even recently, the people Gary's been sending me to add to queue, I'm just like, how the heck did this? What? Who? You just gave this person a reading? Like what? Like I'm just like, wow, that person's on the app now. They're on the Q app. What the? Like I'm like I have to pinch myself sometimes. I'm like, who's using the Q app? What? Like pretty crazy stuff. And I know that like that's just the beginning of this like momentum we're feeling coming in going into the, year of the horse on February 17th. We're gonna gallop right through this thing. We're gonna get to 1 million downloads. And people here are truly early. We haven't built out this app to be this incredible thing yet. It's great, don't get me wrong, but the bar for great is always rising. That's why our members see all these changes happen weekly, monthly, daily. We're always gonna keep making this better, and we have a pretty big name to live up to, frankly. And with all these people who are influential and joining, I only want to make it a better product. I want them to share this with their friends and their other influential people, because who knows where this can go, at that point, right? Well, we kind of know, but it's pretty awesome. It really is to be behind this product and be working with such a great team that can reach such influential people, right? Gary to be the first one, right? Gary is probably the most influential person tied to this product. He makes the product, and it's great to digitize his legacy. That's what it is. We are literally making sure that the future people know where all this stuff was revitalized from, right? Because there's a lot of frauds online. A lot of people trying to take credit. A lot of people attack Gary. Gary's like the trailblazer. You know why they call it trailblazing? Because you're taking all the heat, that blaze of fire that you freaking are taking from all the heat, all the hate. And at the end of the day, it powers Gary up. But I don't think I would be able to take it that well personally. But maybe I get over it. But my point is, Gary's trailblazing this shit, and it inspires us. It inspires his students, his members to really keep following that path that he freaking set up for us. So he built it. It's time to continue it and make sure it lays a long, long legacy. So that changes lives. Most importantly, we know that the value's there. Like, there's no argument about, oh yeah, we're selling a product that people aren't getting their value. We know that. We know that they use one of the features, they're gonna get their value like instantly. We were hesitant on even starting weekly. The fact that we launched weekly memberships in December is absolutely mind-boggling. We started with only semi and annual memberships when we launched. Then we started with monthly, and now weekly. Years later. So this has never been a better time, I guess, to access such a treasure trove. Like, someone can get Q for technically like $1 a day and just kind of like unsubscribe after a week, but I shouldn't say that. But I hope they stay. Our thing is stay with us, see the growth. The app is, of course, extremely much more valuable than what you're paying to get into it. But the best thing is this community, this knowledge that we want to kind of keep growing as a community. And if you stay with us, you'll see those improvements kind of continue to happen, and we'll keep bringing more services. I mean, we ultimately want kind of people to connect, and that's the Q Connect idea, right? Kind of has the CC there, kind of has the energy for it. So we ultimately want to see this platform become something in which you can not only find great places, things, brands, places to live, etc., but also maybe a great person to do business with, or have a friendship or share knowledge, these types of things. But yeah, I digress. I can keep going. Just yeah, I'm really excited about the future for
Hey,
Q,
we
guys.
love to hear it, guys. Again, this is coming straight from the founder, the CEO of the Q app. This is a man Tell is talking, who you should guys listen to. That's brilliant. Every word we get from Nick, that's a word of gold. Let's put it like this. So now let's get through some readings in a bit. We got 11/5/2004 mail. We got a 22 life path born on the 50 of the monkey. General career advice. So you being a 22 life path, you're very old soul. You're here for a different purpose. You're here to build. You're here to build up the better reality for yourself, and you're here to build something of your own. So the trap a lot of 22s fall into is they're building stuff up, they're using the energy to build up everybody else, and they get effed up empty-handed. So my advice for you is to build something of your own. You're also born on the 5th, so traveling is always going to play a big role. Traveling to different countries, different environments, picking up from stuff up from different places. I see you from Canada, you're sending Canadian dollars. So the best thing I can tell you is to experience different aspects of reality. You're born in a monkey. Honestly, you should go to America. You should travel the States. You should go to different states in America. You should travel America, go through all of the states. If you set your mission, for example, to go through all of the states, that's going to unlock you. That's going to adapt you. That's going to evolve you to a completely different way of thinking that you ever could get just being in one place in Canada. So that's my advice for you being born on the 5th. People born on the 5th, 14th, 23rd need to travel in their life. They can't be stuck in one place, otherwise they get depressed. You're born to use a 22 life path. You're here to build up yourself, build up other people around you, build up a business, build up a company, do something of yourself, build up something with your name to it. That's what you're here for. 2028, that monkey year with 28 on it, that's coming up as your golden ticket opportunity. Take advantage. Next one, we got birthday 2/23/1990. I know we're getting into the horse here. What type of business should I open this year that will make me financially stable? So when it comes to many businesses, honestly, bro, you got it going for you. I can't lie. You got it going for you. You're going into an 8 personal year in the horse year. This is the building block year of your life. This is the year you want to set a strong foundation. You know, I can't tell you what type of business you should open. If I had to tell you, I would tell you anything that deals with cash flow. Insurance deals with cash flow. You get clients, new clients, sales, having an online store, selling stuff, 8th energy, what goes around comes around. So any sort of businesses that are real, any sort of businesses that are righteous, you can't get by. You as an 8th life path horse, you can't get by stealing. You can't get by cheating, finessing, you know, stealing people out of their money. You gotta, you know, be very righteous. What goes around comes around. That's your energy when it comes to that 8th. So in your horse year, in your 8th year, any business you start has to be aligned with a very righteous mission. Stuff that taps in and you know, aligns with your sense of mission and your sense of purpose. 8 life paths, they're very obsessive when it comes to their goals, when it comes to the missions. So just make sure it's balanced, make sure it's righteous. What goes around comes around. You manifest the equal energy exchange. Now we got top feeder 20 with $28. You know, you gave us $28, but brother, you forgot to add your text. So if you just supported the stream with $28, I appreciate it. But if you got something to say, if you want to ask us anything, you gotta type it out in the chat because you forgot to include that in the reading. And I can't help you if you don't give me any insight, brother. Now, alright, we got 12, 19, 2000. Am I at 33? 6, any advice for money and career? So let me add that up. You are 3. Yes, so your birthday is interesting. When you keep 12, 19, 2000, when you keep the 12 and 19 whole, it does get to a 33. So I wouldn't count you as a 33-6. I would count you honestly as a 6-33. You're a 6 life path that has the potential to tap into 32 energy as well. Honestly, I feel that way with Nick. You know, Nick is born 7/7/1999, and you know, let's say for our family, the horse year 7/7/1990. That's a pure 33 day. You know, you start 7/7/1999. You eliminate one of those 9s, you get to a 33. And what's 1 9, right? How much effect has 1 9 had? So I feel like, you know, Nick has some definitely 33 energy as well. That's my opinion. But when it comes to you, you're more like a 6. You're a 6 with some 32 energy. So you have some potential of 32 energy. You can have moments in your life when you tap into that frequency, when you're going out there, talking with people, influencing people, teaching people, when you tap into that 33 frequency. But other times, you're going to be more like a 6. You're going to be chilling with family, your home and environment. That's going to be a big role in your life. So just make sure that energy is going to always be aligned. You want your family, you know, when you honestly, that 33, that 6 combined with the 1 energy born the 19th, family is gonna play a big role in your life. Honestly, looking at your birthday, there's a high chance you don't really get the love and, you know, that care and the warm type of feeling from your own family, like previous family, extended family. You're gonna get it when you build your own family. When you have a wife, when you have a kids, that's when you really tap in and become a great leader. That's when you really become someone, you know, who takes responsibility. That's when you really become someone who's the best version of their self. So when you have your kids, that's going to unlock you. I highly recommend it for someone with your birthday, right? A 6 life path dragon born on the 19th, you're going to be a great leader of the house. You're going to be a great, you know, how to say it? Man of the family. How to say it? You know, leader of the family. That's a good keyword for it. You know, man of the house. There we go. Man of the house. You have a very good energy to be a man of the house. So get kids, make some babies, and that's going to unlock and teach you your best lessons that you're meant to go through as well. In your 30s and 40s, looking at the energy, you're going to have a lot of kids. So I feel like a lot of part of your life, you're going to be more tapped into the 6 energy. At some point in your life, you're going to have the 32 energy. When you're ever in a crossroad in your life, when you have the decision between being a follower and doing your own thing, that's your time to make a decision. Are you going to be a follower like a 6? Or are you going to be doing your own thing like a 33? Those key moments in your life that act as free will, that's going to decide which way energy goes. You have the potential of a 33, but not a guarantee. That's the thing with your energy, if that makes sense. Yo, we got AQ17X3C with $415. Again, you gotta give me the birthday. You know, I appreciate the $15, my brother. But alright, I see it down here. 2/10/1997. So you're a 11 life path ox born on the 10th. you are the hard-headed motherfucker. Let me tell you that. 11 life path ox. Wait, let me just double check. Let me double check if that's the ox here, because you know in these February years it always changes on a different day. So 1997 February 7th it changed with ox. So you are definitely still within ox here, just as it started. So you're an 11 life path pointed ox born on the 10th. The main issue that you can have in life is impulsive decisions, emotional decisions, doing without thinking first, taking action without calculating your decisions. That's what gets you into trouble. You want to be someone who actually thinks things through. You gotta avoid emotion and impulsive decisions. They don't work out in your favor, but be real with that. When it comes to money, looking at the birthday, I feel some good money energy. Nick, look at that birthday, 2/10/1997. That's a good financial birthday, isn't it?
2/10/1997.
Look at that. That's a good financial birthday, isn't it? They're gonna make a lot of money the older they get.
What are you looking at?
Their birthday.
2/10/1997. 11 ox Aquarius.
Apply some of that gold information. Yeah, Aquarius, the richest sign in the age of Aquarius. Apply some of that gold information in there. You're gonna see that's part of got it going on when it comes to getting that bag. So you, sir, have a lot of potential in your life, but what you gotta do is balance those emotions. When you let emotions take control of your actions, that's when you fuck up. So when it comes to money, you gotta separate the emotions from logic. When it comes to business, when it comes to getting the bag, apply only logic. Don't make emotional decisions. They don't work out in your favor, right? Look at, I'm sure you can write in the chat, you can attest to this. Whenever you get emotional, things don't work out in your favor. You're born 2nd of October. You're born 2nd of October. You're Australian. You wrote it the wrong way, but the day always goes in the middle. Guys, you don't want to know how the day always goes in the middle, how the American way is the correct way? Because the day is DD, right? You have MMDD YYY as the month, day, and a year, right? When you look at the word middle, it has DD in there. Middle has a double D in there. Makes sense the day goes into the middle. So you're born 2nd of October 1997. That's not as good of a financial birthday as the 10th of February would be. I'm sorry, but I mean, you're still gonna do pretty well, I believe, especially as you get older. And not as you get older, even now, I feel like a big shift in your life changed throughout the years 2025, 2026, yeah, even 2024. Last couple of years have definitely been life changing for you, haven't it? AG17, tell us in the chat. Last couple of years, your outlook on life has changed. You became a different person. You started thinking differently, acting differently. Everything's becoming changing in the last couple of years. And you become more of a leader. You become more independent. And going forward, I think money's going to be great for you. Next 2 years, you should lay low, take it easy. 2026, the horse year ain't going to be as good. 2027, the goat year. Life is going to be hell that year. But when you get through that, the next year's going forward, energy is on your side. You're going to have very good times in the 30s and your 40s. Life is looking up. Yes, a lot. See, there we go. We see that. I'll tell you, it's real, right? So get through the next couple of years and going forward, we can expect good things from you. That's correct? I know that's correct, bro. I know that's correct. Thank you for confirming it, but I don't need the confirmation. This information works. All right, we got the next one. We got a big player up in here with $35. Nick, we got someone giving us $35. So we got have missed your live stream, brother. No homo. Hey, I missed you being up here, bro. I missed being on stream. I'm happy to have you in here.
That's good for a month of Q.
Yeah, that's good for a month of Q. I'm not the one for feeling sorry for myself, but I've lost a lot of money this year, close to 6 figures. Something to do with my energy entering 2026, 11/3/1999. So let's see. You are. You're a 6 life path with some hints of 32 energy in there. Mm-hmm. So let's see, why would you be wasting your money? You're in a 5 personal year. I think you're not thinking straight. I think you need to get back to logic, bro. I think if you lose money with your frequency, you're being too risky. You're wanting more and more and more without forgetting the element and the structure of building yourself up step by step. Make sure your groundwork is solid. With your type of energy, make sure you know the footings are straight. With 6 energy, right, Nick? You should second this, right? As a 6 life path for money. What would you tell the 6 life path who's been losing money?
Well, he's a 33, no?
I mean, he has a 33-6, right? He's born at 11.
Well, I mean, I would say this. I would say he's like discipline. I feel like something is telling me like he didn't have or was lacking a level of discipline, and that's probably why he lost that money. A lot of times you could back to that, but that's a little bit of a gut feeling around some things I'm seeing in his birthday, like being born on the 3rd. We know 3 and 4 are enemy numbers, so that's public, right? And I think that could have been something that he lacked. I don't know what he did. Maybe he was a traitor. Maybe he blew up some systems that he had, and he just needs to get back to the fundamentals, getting organized. And what, he's going to be in a 5 cycle through November until next November? Is that right? Yeah, change. I mean, whatever the fuck you did last time, don't do that again. That's for sure. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. But yeah, no, change. Obviously, 5 is the number of change, and whatever's been going on, man, you just gotta make the pivot. Don't repeat the cycle. Close that loop that keeps repeating. If there is some type of cycle like that, I would just say 5 is change. And
I mean, you yourself as a 6 life path, I'm sure you had ups and downs. I'm sure you had your moments where you lost, 6 figures, if I might say so, as a 6 life path. I'm sure you had those moments in your life, right? So think about yourself right now. That's a 6 life path cat with similar energy to you. What would you say? What did you learn from losing those moments of losing 6 figures? What did you learn from those experiences that you can give them to him?
Yeah.
Right?
I'll give it to him. So it's all relative, right? For others, that experience may be 10,000. For others, 100,000. Others, 1,000,000. And it's all relative to the experience that you just had. So what I really learned was that it really prepares you, or it should prepare you, for being able to manage more money in the future. So that era, right back then, with all that money, it is there to teach you, and it's like almost like if you were to get like into a small fender bender just to avoid a massive, total, that type of thing, right? And I truly believe that. I think everything happens kind of for a reason and in alignment with the context and the story of your life. So just look at it relatively and try to be positive that, hey, that happened to you so that in the future you're going to be better equipped to handle 10x whatever that was, and be able to handle those bigger losses that may come later, which hopefully you look back and 6 figures is a small loss for a huge lesson that you learned, and you move on to earning. So that's how and get back to work, whatever. I don't know, I feel like sometimes when you go off into those rabbit holes that lead you down those paths that are out of alignment, then you may have been playing around too much. Get back to work and get that discipline on right. That's kind of how I would compare it. Giving some similarities to my own experience.
All right, makes sense. Hey, you hear it from a 6 life path cat just like you. Take this lesson, write it down, and run with it. Now, next one, we got 831, 1978, expression 33, minor expression 28, horse, looking for dates and months when I should go the hardest this year. So, when it comes to expression number and minor expression number, we are not really big believers in that. That's like the mainstream, based off your name. What matters the most is the energy that you're born with. So, you are 1 life path horse born on the 31st. You got a 1 energy combined with 4 energy. You gotta work hard, you gotta be ambitious, you gotta get things done. No shortcuts, no free handouts for someone with your energy. You want something, you gotta work for it. Look at someone like Mike Tyson, that's a full life path pointing the horse. Did Mike Tyson get to the top by being lazy? Did Mike Tyson get to the top by being stagnant? Hell no, that brother put in work. That brother was lifting weights when he was a teenager and he was fighting to get to the top. That's the same mindset you need to apply. You want something, get to work, get with it. Don't count on being lucky. You don't need luck, you make your own luck. That should be your mindset. With you as a one life path on the 31st, take action, be consistent, be dedicated. What are the best dates and best months when you should go the hardest? So I think Gary made it public 1-11 are pretty good together. Like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen 1-11 shouldn't come as a surprise. Kobe and Shaq 1-11 won 3 championships should not come as a surprise. So look for those 11 life path days. And you're a horse, so always 8 energy. It depends on what you want to do, right? You want to start something, you want to launch something, do it on 8 days depending on the business. The 28th of the month should be pretty good for you. The 22nd of the month should be pretty good for you. Take action, go hard, and make the most out of 2026, your horse year, when it comes. Alright, next one, 9/23/2004. In school for $8 for mechanical engineering, male, general strengths, weaknesses. What do you see in my future? So let's see. You are an 11 life path, pointed a monkey, born on 23rd. In school for mechanical engineering. I don't know. I don't really like you, bro. I don't really like you learning engineering. Because those sort of jobs, it depends on what sort of job you get with mechanical engineering. If you're stuck in an office, it's not going to be good. If you're doing the same shit, just, tinkering with that scholarship, you're not going to be as good of a person of yourself, right? You as a 5, you need to change. You need to travel. You need to have a job that's going to different places, different aspects of life, and experience constant change, being like water. So if you're mechanical engineering, as you're fixing, ACs, maybe that's gonna be good. You're gonna go through different places. Every day is a different house. Every day is a different client who wants something for you. That's gonna be good. But let's say if you're stuck doing the same shit every day, then it's gonna get draining. So overall, 11s with electricity. I've seen a lot of 11s get into the electrical field. Not a bad thing. And honestly, like these sort of real jobs can be beneficial. People who are like learning real skills, learning real, carpeting or learning real hand-on skills, they're gonna benefit in years to come. Because AI is gonna take a lot of jobs. AI is gonna take a lot of jobs when it comes to coding. AI is gonna take a lot of jobs when it comes to designing and all of these sort of things. Guess what? AI is not gonna take engineering, at least for the next 10 years. So, you still have it going for you. You're still gonna get a lot of clients. So, I think it's definitely looking up for you. You being an 11 life path, make sure you're passionate about what you do. People who are 11s, they need to feel their heart is in it. If your heart is not in it, you're never gonna become successful. Alright, I hope that helps. 2023, I have an 8 personal year. God damn, Nick, listen to this. I'm not a jealous person. I'm really not jealous of anybody in this world. But one thing I'm jealous of, literally only one thing, is monkeys in 2028. Like, god damn, you have a monkey year, your own year, and it's the year 2028. So my cat year was 2023, but I was a 7 year. 7 isn't really the best with money, right? So when these monkeys got 2028, god damn, that's, and you have an 8th year on top of it. Shit, take advantage, brother.
You can't be jealous. I think you can't be jealous because you're born in one of the most rare years of all time. There's only one 28 universal year, and that's 1999.
What about the year 622?
Okay, that's not available anymore.
Yeah. Okay, so anyways, bro, I'll tell you why we don't have to be jealous. Because the monkey year starts on the 26th of January. So before 26th of January 2028 is a goat year. So us cats are still gonna be flourishing.
That's nice.
That's gonna be a great time for us to start new things. If you're born, you're the cat, you're the goat, you're the pig, 2028 January is literally the golden ticket opportunity of your life. That's only happening for 25 days of the year essentially. Rest of the year goes to the monkey, dragon, and the rat. until 26th of January, the cats, goats, and pigs can still tap in. So you're right, I shouldn't be jealous. For sure.
That looks good. Yeah, I see that 25 days of goat energy into the 28. That's nice.
Yeah, look at the day like 4th of
goats-
January 2028. That's an 8 life a day on a 4th. Seems pretty good, doesn't it?
That's solid. Yeah, we'll definitely be taking advantage of all the imprints along the way. Absolutely. Someone could be like, I guess it really wouldn't work that way, but someone kind of like making LLCs now to sell in the future just because they were born on a certain day. Uh, I doubt it. Watch somebody listening goes and starts collecting LLCs. I think
Nick, we got one more before I'm soon wrapping it up. We got 7
Yeah,
May
yeah.
we got 7. This I want to give to you. We got 7 May 2001. So we got a 6 life path snake born on the 7th. What do we have? They have Q lifetime, and they say it's a great tap. So what would you say to a person like this?
I would say, we probably think very similarly, right? And agree that Q is a great app, probably one of the greatest apps, built by someone with a 6 life path and born the 7th. So that's exactly you. You're a 6 life path born on the 7th, and you're a snake. So of course you're going to be into kind of the esoteric or the occult and kind of the hidden knowledge of this world, and it's naturally going to come to you. Even if you never got into any of this stuff, it would have found its way into your consciousness super consciously, right? You would have downloaded it from somewhere. And that's a pretty cool thing about the snake. Their wisdom, right? Just natural wisdom. And remember, we still have what? Till February 17th to really tap into this wisdom and then turn it and then go into the horse year, right? So be extremely wise with these final imprints. I would say the snake year probably gets even more potent into the end, or do you think it starts to dwindle, Tavit? It's probably starting to dwindle at this point.
Yeah.
I definitely think it's a bit of it changes over like a wave of energy. But my point is 6, 7, just look at, try to be more, definitely be speaking, right? You may think that you can't be a good speaker or you can't communicate, but communication is what brings creation, right? And for you to really get out there and start creating, I mean, you've been in your 3 cycle. Sure, maybe you've gotten a lot of great things done, seeing as you're a Q lifetime member, so you've got to be in a pretty good position financially to make that type of investment in the company. You've probably used Q for your creation, and I encourage that. And I would just say really tap into that communication that you have. You have the ability to learn it, right? You may not be comfortable at first, right? That innate ability to just learn things and connect dots. So that's the 6 to the 7, right? So just lean into that and keep creating and keep communicating and networking and being that connector, right? As being the connector, like with full force into your 4 cycle, right? So you've got to May 7th to really make the most of being in that 3 personal year right now. So that's kind of my high level and biggest kind of takeaways with the 6, 7, having that in my own energy. I never was like naturally drawn to speaking, right? Even at dinner table, like when I was a young kid, my grandma, my French Moroccan grandma, she'd be like, why don't you talk? Why is this one never talk? And I didn't want to talk. I didn't have anything to say, but she called me out. So like at that point, I'm like, all right, let me think of something to say. And then I started yapping. So yeah, moral of the story is you have that potential to yap, and don't be afraid to yap if it means you're bringing people together, you're communicating, you're creating, and good stuff. So channel that properly. Hope that makes sense.
All right, we got one more. We got 1/16/1988. So that's let me calculate. That's a 7 life path cat, my brother. In a 9 personal year in the guidelines, they're a lifetime Q member, app, and a happy user. Thanks a lot. So in a 9 personal year, 789, yeah, you wanna just I hope you started everything you wanted in 8 year. In the 9 personal year is not for new beginnings, it's not for starting anything new. This is the time to wrap things up and complete things. In the 9 personal year, you wanna go with the flow, adapt to the situation, not really be forceful when it comes to ambitions, just go with the flow. See what works, what doesn't. If something, really messes up and really finds completion in a 9 year, more or less is likely meant to be, right? So don't be too forceful in the 9-year. Go with the flow, see what works, what doesn't, and move accordingly. That's my advice for the 9-year. So good news is, next year, 2027, brother, you're going into 1 year, and 2027 is gonna be a GOAT year as well. So you as a cat, you have a GOAT year and a 1 year. That's gonna be one of the most important, most beneficial, most high energy years of a life. There's some 28 energy in there as well. Yo, we got another $35. We got a big player in here from the same guy we were talking about who lost 6 figures. It makes sense. You lost 6 figures. We wouldn't feel bad about, giving us a couple of pennies. So makes sense. You said risk and discipline played a role. So that makes sense. Planning on taking a longer trip before flags start appearing in June this year, being in my 5 personal year. What are some less flag friendly places to visit within my energy? Nick, you talked about flags. What do we got to say about this?
Say it again. What flag?
I don't know. I hope you know, bro. I hope you were paying attention or something. I have no idea what this guy's talking about flags, bro. I have no idea. I hope you were knowing about it, bro. Honest to God, I hope you were like. I'm doing
like 3 things at the same time. Honestly, I've been like triple tasking.
This is the guy who lost 6 figures. Let me write. He said. He lost 6 figures. He was born 11/3/1999. So he was 6 life path cat, just like you, right? So he said risk and discipline played a role. So that makes sense. Planning on taking a longer trip before flags. What the fuck means flags? Start appearing in June this year. Before flags start appearing in June this year.
I got it.
Being in my 5 personal year, what are some of the less flag friendly places to visit with my energy? You got it?
I think he's just kind of trying to say, like, what are, like, the place... that kind of threw me off, the red flags. I mean, maybe he's talking about red flags he's seen. I don't know. Long story short, I will say this. Like, as a 6 life path, like, one of the things that was going wrong at that time was a lot and too much travel, right? As a, homebody, you shouldn't be going around traveling that much, right? Try to kind of stay still as long as you can and get organized. That's the whole thing about 6 home. So although you will be drawn to more travel situations this year, given the 5 personal, just try to make it very productive. It needs to usher in change, or keep it simple. Maybe a walk instead of having to travel so much. Go for a walk, keep it moving, keep it flowing, right? That's the thing about 5s. I think they need to be in constant change to kind of really have that good flow, in balance, right? So, anyways, with that, I think if you're looking for locations, go to Q and put your birthday in, and he'll tell you all the friendly places to visit. You can ask the AI where I can travel. At least that will cover that if that's what you're looking for, like, a good place energy wise. But hey, if you're a lifetime member, just shoot me a DM on Discord in the community. I'm sure you have my Discord username, so it's Nick in there. So if you don't know.
Hey, I appreciate it. We got that's a great response. Honestly, you got it better than I would have. I have no idea what he's talking about flags, but you handled it pretty well. So we got one more Nick for you, Kevin. He's October 5th, 1998. So our 33/6 life path. He says he had Q for 2 months, right? Think about it. He had Q for 2 months, and then he upgraded to Lifetime. Is the best astrology app ever. So that's what we got from Kevin. I appreciate you, Kevin. Get ready for 2026. Kevin. Your horse here. This is your time to shine. You're tapped into your own energies, especially in a 6 personal year. Take responsibility. Get things done. Take action. As now is your time to shine. As a 6 life path in a 6 personal year, and a horse here as a tiger, right? So take action. Get things done. Don't shy away from responsibilities. Own up to it and get what's yours. This is one of the best years available for you, because 2028 is gonna be your enemy year. So do more. 2026, double up, so you can afford to lay low and take time off in the enemy year. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Congrats to him for making that upgrade. Kevin, if you're loving it and you upgraded from Q Plus to Lifetime within 2 months, I mean, we're gonna have to make something new for you to upgrade to in a year, because what you see, that's gonna come to the platform over the next year is gonna be amazing. But I was just kidding. You're not gonna have to pay again. You're good for life, brother. You're good for life. But yeah, it's awesome, awesome times at Q. The community's growing, the app's growing. I appreciate everyone tuning in, and Tabit for always hosting, especially in the weekly calls, the private calls we do with the community. And it's just the beginning. This is a great year to really bring Q to the mainstream and share it with your friends and family. Oh, by the way, in the next update, we'll add that feature. You'll be able to track everyone you invited to Q. Of course, we're going to be giving out some great things to, reward you for sharing the good message of Q and the great stuff that we offer to people in a kind of, app version type of way. I mean, it's incredible. It boggles my mind to think about all the stuff we have in Q, and like nowadays, like to explain what Q is simply is always a challenge for me. And I'm gonna keep working and stepping to that challenge of explaining what it is, how it is, and why it's good for everyone, right? And how it can make your life great. So that's all from me. But Tavid, I'm not sure how long you're gonna keep this running, but it was a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on the
Yeah,
stream.
I might wrap it up. It turned 3 a.m., which is the start of my unlucky hours. 3 a.m. is my
There
enemy
you go.
hour. My
That's a
enemy
smart
hour
call.
begins. So it might be the right time to wrap it up. I appreciate you, Nick, sticking through with us until this long. I feel it's been great. We got a lot of great clips for the Q app. We got a lot of great insight. And I feel this is great, bro. We should, make more Q podcasts together. We should definitely keep this going, because this can only benefit us, right? From this, nothing to lose from this. There's only to
And not just
gain
benefit
from me
us,
going out to talk to people.
it's gonna benefit the people tuning in and hearing and connecting, and it's great. It's a little bit more work on my plate, but I'll be honest, we've made quite the investment over the last few months, and new partners coming into the business. So I'll be able to delegate a lot of the kind of 10 million hats that I've worn as a bootstrapped startup, and I'll be able to help grow the community, focus on the product more. I don't have to worry about finance, legal, all the kind of boring stuff in business that I never really got into it for. I got into the build the great product and help people, really enjoy a service at its max. So it's going to be awesome to see what 2026 brings with my focus being closer on the knowledge and the community and the product, and less on the kind of corporate company, bureaucracy that you ultimately got to deal with if you want to build a bridge like the one we're bridging to get numerology and astrology to the mainstream. So very excited and really grateful for the team and everyone showing up, and even you guys viewing right now. So reach out. I'm at LifePathFacts on Twitter. Haven't been active recently, just super busy. But yeah, that's to my point. I'm trying to get back into it, get back with you guys, and balance my time right. That's the key as a sixth life path, finding where to put your time and energy. So wishing you all the best. Thank you, David, again.
Amazing. Happy to have you in here. We'll see you guys in the next time. Bye bye.